This is Comic Geek Speak episode 1810 previews. Yeah. I'm Adam Murdo.
I'm Ian Levinstein.
And I'm Shane Kelly.
And here I am thinking, oh man, I forgot my props.
I didn't have anything new this week.
I've just been experiencing Mego envy between you and Chris. Guys dance in front of the camera. I thought I needed to compete, so.
Well, a job, very much job well done, Murd. Very well, job well done.
Attack of the hand-carved monitor lizard.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, it's previews time once again here for us all, and we are ready for that. Got the Marvel, the DC, and the previews ready to roll. And this month in the world of previews, it is issue 392. And over at DC, we are at issue 12 and Marvel issue 11. And again, we haven't quite gotten there yet where Image and Dark Horse and IDW have got their own stuff, but I'm gonna give it another few months and we'll see what happens.
I miss everything in one book.
I agree with you. Life was a lot easier that way, to say the least. But,
I mean, that's the only thing I really miss about it. I did like that it was all contained in one book, but
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's hard to. Well, for that matter, it's also really way easier, as we can tell. It's way easier to forget to order one of them.
Sure.
And then you have to go off the PDFs. So it's just the way the world works sometimes.
Yep, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will hopefully have Chris Eberly later on in this episode, by the way. But until then, you're stuck with the three-man crew. But we'll yeah. Nice, good reference. And we'll go ahead and get started here. But before we do, as usual, we're sponsored by you, the listeners, over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. As 107 patrons as of the moment of this recording are giving us $314 per month to keep the lights on, Motel 6 style, here at the podcast. And we greatly appreciate that, 100%. You guys continue to show your support, and we wouldn't be here without your support and with your continued listenership, and we love you all for it. So patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. And if you'd like to give a one-time donation, you can do so over at comicgeekspeak.com/donate.php. And old school donations are still accepted. Let's go ahead and make that clear. We thank you guys so much for your support.
Absolutely.
Yep. Alrighty. Headed on over to Previews Town for all here as I go ahead and get that screen share ready. And here we go for previews. Voila. Okay. Now the cover for this goes ahead and lets us know about Dark Blood over at Boom Studios. So we're going to have to wait a little bit to know more about it. However, what if you had the power to change the course of history? Certainly has me intrigued, and I think we'll be bringing that up come Boom. Matoya Morgan and Walt Barna graced the cover of previews this month. And of course these this He-Man guy that nobody's ever heard of before.
I'll tell you what, I've seen the stills for that. I'm not the biggest He-Man fan, but the new cartoon I'm kind of intrigued about. It looks really good. I
agree with you. Yeah, no, I like what I see so far. And it has the involvement of Kevin Smith as well, which is interesting to me.
It doesn't hurt also that their Origins toy line that's hitting the shelves the last year has been phenomenal. I mean, again, I never really had He-Man toys, and I really never cared to. But even I bought a Roboto, I think it's called, because it looks so darn good. The packaging and the way they're designed, they really did a great job of giving them a modern playability, but looking very classic.
You recall that if you twisted him at the waist, the gears in his torso turned?
Yep. And I think they still do. I think the redesign of it still holds true that way.
That's pretty cool.
It's really something what they've done, what Mattel's done with that line.
Well,
Again, I don't get them, but
I'm glad to see all these 80s properties continuing to, life. The trailer came out today, and we'll talk about it on our next Comic Talk, obviously. The trailer for the Snake Eyes movie came out today. So, obviously, G.I. Joe fans, named Shane, are probably very much looking forward to that. I'm
curious. I'm cautiously optimistic. G.I. Joe movies don't do well very, very many times.
No, that if I remember correctly, I think the second one was actually better than the first, at least from fan reaction.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Fair enough.
It still wasn't great, but yeah.
As long as you're better than the Chun-Li origin movie for Street Fighter, then I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start with Image as usual here. And what a place to start. On page 42. Doesn't always work out well, but maybe this time it will, as we get an actress dipping her heels into the world of comic books, as Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones debuts Mom, Mother of Madness, number 1 of 3, along with a excellent co-writer, Marguerite Bennett. That has me more interested, I think, than anything else, to be entirely honest with you. It's a 3-issue miniseries, as previously stated. Mayhem begins with Maya, under the weather scientist by day, over the top superhero by night, and badass single mom 24/7. They call it Deadpool action and Fleabag comedy. Okay, cool enough. Artist Wayla Lays. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, but
sounds about right.
Yeah, I dig the cover, and the artwork is intriguing enough. Almost a Dotson's flair to it, I'd say. And yeah, I mean, it could be interesting enough.
Yeah, I knew it reminded me of Adventure Man for some reason. I thought maybe it was just the premise, but you're right. It's the artwork is kind of Dodson-esque.
Yep, especially in those faces.
Yeah.
Yep. Mom Murder Maya. Mom Murder Mayhem Maya, that is.
Oh, don't forget the mayhem, Ian.
How could I? Yes, and it's 3 issues, so frankly, it's easy enough to be one and done, and I'm sure collected, it'll look very pretty on a shelf. All right, what else we got from Image this month? How about this? Skybound X #1, written by Robert Kirkman, Tilly Walden, James Harron, and Chris Dingus. Artwork by the one and only Ryan Ottley. So you've got Kirkman and Ottley back together. That makes me a happy camper. Tilly Walden, James Harron, and Matthew Roberts celebrate a sensational 10 years of Skybound with a cavalcade of your favorite creators and all new stories of your favorite series past, present, and future. Each issue of this oversized weekly series will kick off a new chapter of a serialized The Walking Dead story, Rick Grimes 2000, by Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley. And they'll be debuting an all-new series and characters every issue, starting with the first appearance of the most requested Walking Dead character of all time, Clementine. So we're getting Telltale Walking Dead finally in comic book form, as part of the 10-year celebration of Skybound. This may actually be a buy for me. I'm a fan of a lot of the stuff that's come out of Skybound so far. And when you've got creators like this on board, and Kirkman, celebrating himself in that way, and you've got a weekly series, it may very well be worth it. Especially the premise of this Walking Dead series, as it's actually an alternate universe of Walking Dead, where you find out this was like sort of a throwaway in like a back issue, in like the back of a Walking Dead issue from a long time ago. It might have even been issue 100 actually, where they do a what if as to if the zombies were due to aliens, and then it sort of just like shifts the entire series that way.
Huh.
So like you get a whole different premise of Walking Dead thrown in there, with Otley on art, and I'm all for that.
Wow.
Yep.
I know I didn't get to issue 100, and I have it in trades over on the pile, but I didn't know that they even did a what if chapter like that.
Yeah. Again, it was very throwaway, but enough fans were like, yeah, I wonder if that was a thing. And like, I guess Kirkman came back and like, yeah, you know what? It's a thing now. And plus, this issue 2 here, I mean, obviously, a certain Chris Eberly would be intrigued with the word Zdarsky involved.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep. And Joshua Williamson and Irma Nivilla and Shree Young and a whole bunch of other creators as well. And it's a weekly series. You get a little bit of everything thrown in there. And Science Dog, the comic inside a comic, gets a little bit of a chance to shine. So I'm in. All right. How about this? Page 56.
Yes, something else that would intrigue Mr. Eberly were he here to see it.
Indeed.
It's a Kyle Higgins project, Ordinary Gods, #1. Mr. Higgins writes it. Felipe Watanabe is the artist, and it's kind of wicked and divine-ish. It's reminiscent of that story by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. It's a story of 5 divine archetypes: the luminary, the prodigy, the brute, the innovator, and my personal favorite, the trickster, which incarnate periodically from time to time on Earth and live out their lives. They're kind of trapped in an endless cycle of death and reincarnation. And we pick up with the latest incarnation of one of these 5 archetypes. He's a young man named 22 years old. He's got a good life going. He's got a John Travolta-esque job at a paint store, 2 loving parents and a younger sister. He doesn't really want to be caught up in this mythological crap again, but he doesn't have much of a choice. And so the series begins. And I think I can speak for Chris and myself when I say that Kyle Higgins' byline alone would be enough to get me to check it out. Chris has been gushing over Radiant Black, also by Higgins, for months now.
Yep.
And so this is Higgins' next idea, and anything that plays into mythological archetypes tends to get my attention anyway. And so that plus this writer, this is a buy for me.
Oh, definitely. And the artwork, I'm not familiar with Felipe Watanabe, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I could definitely see him being one of those go-to artists if he continues putting out material like this. It's got its own personality, but also very fluid and gets a story across, and that's really what you want to see from an artist. So yeah, really digging what I'm seeing so far. All right, moving over to a new story arc for Chu, spelled CHU, and I need to catch up on the first volume of this. For that matter, I need to finish the original Chu because I think I have about 3 volumes worth of that I still haven't actually cracked. But I'd love to catch up and get to where we are now, as this is a brand new story arc for John Layman and Dan Boltwood's sequel to the well-renowned Chu. And we get Saffron's second blood-soaked adventure here, beginning on Chu #6. And yeah, I love the first Chu. I imagine it's just about as fun here.
I do like the ingenuity of reinventing Chu to keep it going.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There was certainly way more story to be told, so I'm glad that they went ahead and went about that.
Yep, and this character, Saffron Chu, it's a whole new wrinkle to the power set to explore here because she's using them to commit crimes rather than to solve them, as the protagonist of the first Chu did.
Yep, absolutely. So I praised Crossover in our awards this year, and I clearly need to catch up because Crossover #8 here Special guest appearance by Redacted by Weagle.
And yet there's Mike Allred's Madman standing right there.
Exactly.
On the front cover. Bold as brass.
which begs to, the question, is that the Redacted by Weagle, or is there somebody else in there that's more of a big reveal?
Yep.
Buy it and see.
Exactly. Yep. Issue page 61 for that one, for crossover number 8. Cates and Shaw, Cuniff, and Hill on crossover. All right. Anything else from Image?
No.
Well, on page 71, there's yet another printing of Scud the Disposable Assassin. 90s classic, and in full color once again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was black and white the first time around, but the last several printings have been in color. It's about a murder droid dispensed by a vending machine, who his class of android self-destructs after assassinating their target, but this one finds a loophole. He shoots his target and then just becomes a freelance assassin to keep said target on life support so that Scud does not self-destruct. And so it's extremely, gonzo, crazy, almost stream of consciousness, really wigged out, surreal stuff. And I like that the creator, Rob Schraub, who both writes and draws, he provides casting suggestions for which voices you should hear in your head, for which characters he writes, and sometimes even gives you soundtrack suggestions.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a 90s classic. I know Brian Deemer's fond of it, and so am I. So thanks, Image, for keeping that in print.
Yep. I remember picking up a slightly dented copy of the entire Scud the Disposable Assassin at my second San Diego Comic-Con. It had just come out in collection shortly before that, but I got it for, I think, 50% off because there was a slight ding on the cover. I'm like, all right, you know what? Good enough. Let's make it happen. Absolutely. Yep. And it is a terrific comic. It really is. And anybody who's a fan of Dan Harmon's work, especially, whether it be Rick and Morty, whether it be Community, or anything along those lines, this is definitely worth giving a shot. And Rob Schraub is nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah, I don't think I ever read an issue of that. I might have to look that up.
You dig it, yeah. It's crazy at times. It sure as heck is crazy, but it's crazy in a good way, not crazy in a what am I reading way.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep. Okay. I'll point out we're on Bleed Part 3 of Die on page 76, Die number 18 coming out. We are nearing the conclusion of this story arc, and I think potentially the series as well. I think Die is actually finally coming to its conclusion here. But this is any fan of D&D action should be checking out Kieran Gillen's Die, because it's going to be right up your alley. I think that is about it for me on Image. So how about we head over to Dark Horse? Unless there's anything else.
Not from me. Shane?
No.
All
Nothing
right.
for me either.
Over to Dark Horse and over to I Have the Power to come out with a new comic. Oh, boy. Masters of the Universe Revelation on page 94. Also, talk about a comic that's been with literally every single publisher over the years.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep. It's the town bicycle, baby. Everyone's had a ride.
Great.
Oh, behave.
Because I think Marvel's had it, DC's had it. I think IDW might have even taken a stab at one point, but now it's made its way over to Dark Horse.
I think it was at Image too for a brief time.
You might be right. Yeah.
I think that might have been when Kirkman was involved.
Good point. Yeah. I remember Freddie E. Williams doing the covers for it over at DC when it was there about 5 or 10 years ago. Yep. But Masters of the Universe Revelation, number 1 of 4, part of a 4-issue miniseries, as you could tell by the 1 of 4. It's the official prequel to the upcoming animated series reboot. spearheaded by the one and only Kevin Smith, and he is one of the co-writers of this miniseries, along with Rob David, Tim Sheridan, and art by Mindy Lee. Stepan Sijic did the amazing cover here, and there's an alt cover by Mike Mignola and Dave Stewart, which is kind of amazing. I mean, it's straight up like Hellboy, Masters of the Universe, and I'm all for that.
Wow, Mignola Skeletor, fantastic.
Yeah, right.
And look closely at the little red burst there that says the official prequel to the upcoming animated series. It's that looks like the red color with the bits of rock exploding out from it. That's exactly the that was used in the package design from the original action figures.
Oh, really?
That is the right kind of attention to detail. That's
nice.
Nice. Very, very good point there, Murd.
Yeah, and like Shane, I have seen some stills, and I've read a couple of comments from the creators of this upcoming animated series. I am very much looking forward to it. Not that I'll be able to see it because it's on Netflix, but even if, regardless of how I felt about that upcoming miniseries, I'd be buying this comic book miniseries anyway. It's just made for me.
I'll guarantee you that there will be DVDs of this at some.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully something like a Redbox or what have you will make it available to to rent rather than purchase, and then you'll be able to get it that way. But it's been a long time coming. There have been multiple attempts at rebooting Masters of the Universe over the years. I feel like there might have even been a reboot in the mid 2000s that aired on Cartoon Network.
There was. I know I watched that one. It had pretty good animation from what I remember.
Yeah, it didn't last long enough for me to even see it.
Yeah.
Around the same time, they did much the same thing with Thundercats.
Yes, and I am a huge fan of that one. That one is actually finally available again. Because I know I think HBO Max may have actually put it up. As part of their offerings. But I know that one was great because, for one thing, Will Friedle was the voice of Lion-O on that, otherwise known as Eric from Boy Meets World / Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond.
Ron Stoppable.
Ron Stoppable. Very good point, yes. And they had the original voice of Lion-O involved with that as well. Oh, God, what was the name of the ghost that he always saw? The mentor character from Thundercats. I'm trying to remember it now for the life of me.
I should be able to tell you, Ian, but I cannot think of it.
Yeah, but I know like multiple iterations have now had him as involved in that in one way or another. The original voice of Lion-O. I know he plays Lion-O's father in the new Thundercats Roar on Cartoon Network.
The actor is Larry Kinney. That much I can tell you. The character, the ghost character, I cannot remember.
Yeah, but either way, though, that was actually like a really underappreciated reboot, very Avatar: The Last Airbender-esque, and I'm glad that it at least gets play somewhere. And this one, again, the animation looks really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the comic book prequel of it all.
Yeah. Thundercats is not on HBO Max.
Oh, it's not. Okay. I'll have to track down then where it is, because I know I saw it listed somewhere. So maybe it was Hulu, maybe, or it was there and now it's gone, which is also a possibility. Yeah. But yeah, no. Everything old is new again, and I am A-okay with that.
Well, I always love going down when the kids were even younger. It was the same way because you had Star Wars, G.I. Joe, whatever anniversary at that time, Turtles, and of course Lego the whole time. So you have it still now, and now you have He-Man, and you have the continuation of different things coming through that I never would have thought would see the light of day.
Yep.
For kids to enjoy again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I was right. There was a relaunch back in 2002 of Masters of the Universe. That lasted a very, very short time, and then had a animated series produced by Mike Young Productions back in 2002 of Masters of the Universe. So it's been a while, to say the least, since they tried it again.
I'm actually really surprised the toys and whatnot that are out are selling so well. I didn't realize just how loved that series still is. Oh yeah,
well, and for that matter, I'm sure She-Ra helped.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Was that a Netflix original series too?
It was, yes, yes, in a very different style though, because that was very much a less a reboot than like a complete reimagining. Because the art style and animation style and personalities are very, very different in that than the original source material.
Yeah, I think there might have been a couple different rival productions in development. Because I had it on authority from an inside source that there was something else, another approach to He-Man that was maybe a little more in sync with that She-Ra series you just mentioned. So I don't know, that might see the light of day eventually too, but they're clearly going with Kevin Smith's version first.
It's very possible. I know that they were Netflix itself had multiple projects in the works, so maybe that's what they're talking about. Because I think there might be movies of some sort coming, whether animated or otherwise. So maybe that's along those lines. Who knows?
Something to wash away the blight of Dolph Lundgren from our collective memory.
Oh, yes, I saw that movie back in the day. Oy, oy, oy.
Yep. I did not, in my childhood was the richer and purer for it.
Yes, it would be.
Okay, and here's your confirmation, Murd. There's also a CGI revival happening of Masters of the Universe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like along with the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe revelation, there's a new animated series currently untitled that's supposedly still happening. That's going to be 3D animated, and that may be more along the lines of the She-Ra one.
Well, it's a good time to be a He-Man fan, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so, yep. Well, maybe it's also a good fan to be a Harrow County fan, because Tales from Harrow County Fairfolk, number 1 of 4 on page 96, Cullen Bunn and Emily Schnall are behind this one, and Tyler Crook on the alternate cover. Return to Harrow County, award-winning Eisner-nominated Southern Gothic horror series returns with a brand new story. Fresh off the loss of her goblin friend to a strange portal, Bernice must weigh her responsibilities as protector of Harrow County with her desire to get her companion back safe and sound, but the past weighs heavily, and the fair folk use Bernice's and her memories against her. And something more disastrous than she could have feared may be around the corner to threaten both the world of humans and of Haints. Eisner nominee for Best New Series, Harrow County. Very happy to see more of this. It's another one that's on my long list of eventual reads, but I know tons of people who have given great praise to Harrow County, and I'm happy to see it returning in one way or another. Either of you get a chance to read any of it?
No, I never read Harrow County.
I think a listener sent me a copy or two of one of the trades years ago, and I never did get around to reading it. But I think I have it lying around somewhere.
Nice. How about this? Yeah, Dark Horse getting some really interesting things out of the gate this month. But on page 98, Jamie Foxx calls it "Bout Time." Iyanu, Child of Wonder, Volume 1. It's a trade paperback by Roye Akupe and Godwin Akpan. It's about a teenage orphan with no recollection of her past who suddenly discovers that she has the abilities that rival the ancient deities told in the folklore of her people.
Wow.
It is these abilities that are the key to bringing back an age of wonders as Iyanu begins her journey to save the world on the brink of destruction. And this is a collaboration between Dark Horse and Unique Studios as they launch a shared universe of African fantasy and superhero stories, the Unique Universe. This is really cool.
The artwork looks great.
It's gorgeous. Really, really nice. Yeah. This could be huge. Like, no joke. If Dark Horse plays their cards right, I think this could really catch on, and just even looking at the artwork, it's made to be an animated movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It does kind of look that way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yep.
The cover of Iyanu Volume 1 there down at the bottom.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
1898. It does remind me a little bit of, you remember Virgin Comics, which existed for a little while back in the mid-2000s?
Sure.
They tried to do the kind of a shared universe based on Indian mythology. That didn't really go anywhere, despite having some quality talent behind it. But maybe the world just wasn't ready for that kind of thing yet. Maybe now it is.
It was also unfortunately the wrong time, because at that point, Virgin was shutting down most of their mega stores and what have you, and there were fewer and fewer places to find the comics, as they were initially distributing them mostly within their own stores rather than in comic stores. Yep. I remember, because I think I got a bunch of them on discount when the Virgin in Times Square closed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that certainly didn't help.
Yep. Another one in the series is Malika Warrior Queen, also by Roye Akupe, and Chima Kalu on art. Very different art style. Kind of reminiscent of like 80s superhero art, I'd say. Yeah. A little more grounded. Yeah. Yep. And then Sin City Volume 1, The Hard Goodbye, 4th edition, the 30th anniversary of Sin City.
That's crazy.
How did that happen?
30 years.
Yep. Time stopped moving and you're going too fast.
Oh. Preaching. Yep. Nope.
Yep.
It could slow down anytime it wants.
Mm-hmm. Page 100 has a brand new cover for Sin City. And I still have in my collection a like limited edition version of Sin City that I won in a Super Show.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Actually, was it? I'm trying to remember. Was it a Super Show? Or was it 300? It might have actually been 300. Now that I think about it. But it came in this like gorgeous like leather-bound edition of Sin City. I think it might have even been signed by Frank Miller. But it's great. It just I can't wrap my head around it being 30 years. It can't possibly be true. Misprint.
And you can get the trade paperback or the deluxe hardcover.
Oh my god!
Trade paperback's $25. The deluxe hardcover is $100.
Yeah. So get the trade, unless you're a really, really big fan of Frank.
Yep.
And even if you are, get it on discount because you're not paying $100.
Right.
Speaking of deluxe editions, the Tales from the Umbrella Academy, we've got the hardcover, just a regular hardcover for $40, and then you get a deluxe hardcover for double the price at $80. And they're the same dimensions.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're getting out of this one that makes it so special outside of the slipcase. No thanks on that one. All right, anything else from Dark Horse, gents?
Well, we got another Hellboy miniseries on page 102. This one's co-written by Mike Mignola, of course, and Christopher Golden, art by Sean McManus. Well known to DC fans of the 80s, it's called Hellboy and the BPRD, The Secret of Chesbro House, number 1 of 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dave Stewart on the cover again, one of the covers.
I'm down at page 108 for Chivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Gaiman. I don't think I could pet a snake. Nope.
I wouldn't pet a snake whose head was shaped like that. Because that's an
nope.
indication of venom.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like a really charming story, though, about a little old lady who collects antiques and curiosities, and she gets unwittingly drawn into an ancient chivalric quest. Like she accidentally comes into possession of a holy grail. She buys it at an old curio shop. It's written by Neil Gaiman, so there you go. Art by Colleen Doran, and if it were in soft cover, I'm pretty sure I'd be putting it in my cart this month.
Oh yeah. I'm sure there will be a soft cover to come, but even though, I mean, you get a hardcover for $20, which I know it's a one shot in and of itself, and it's only 56 pages. So yes, I guarantee you there'll be a soft cover within the next couple of months. That'll be a little bit more affordable for all, but it's Gaiman and Duran. Like you can't go wrong with that.
It does look like it's going to have some Starman appeal there, Shane.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we'll also mention above, just again, Sir Everly has not joined us quite yet. He'll probably hopefully be here within the next 20, 30 minutes or so. But we've got Black Hammer Visions at number 6 of 8 with Colin, not just Cullen Bunn, but Malachi Ward, terrific artist. And then Black Hammer, indeed, yep. So hi Malachi. Black Hammer Reborn, number 2 of 12. Jeff Lemire on writing and Marley Zarconi on artwork, both on page 107. And those of you who are picking it up in singles, a reminder that it's coming out.
Yep. Black Hammer Visions number 6 is focusing on the character Thu Lu, who is an ordinary working Joe named Lou who gets bonded to the essence of an elder god and wants nothing to do with it. He just wants to drink his beer and watch his shows. He's perfectly suited to Malachi Ward's style. So, Malachi, I look forward to seeing your style on that character in that issue.
Talk about style, by the way. Page 110.
Yeah.
Talk about something that I never thought I'd see the words exist. And yet here we are. Gru meets Tarzan. Number 1 of 4. Marc Evanier, I always mispronounce his last name.
It's Evanier.
Evanier, thank you. And Sergio Argonis. Bye, baby.
Wow.
That is a team right there. And the cover is just so awesome. I know it's not the final cover, but oh my God. As Gru and Tarzan return to Dark Horse in this exciting crossover that you didn't see coming, I didn't see coming, nobody saw coming, but it's here. I love it.
All this and a Rafferto backup story, too.
Nice.
And this is going to get the Deemer seal of approval also.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So, somewhere he just sneezed knowing that we're talking about Gru. Like that's all it takes. Page 110 for you folks out there. Order it. Make it happen. Oh, okay. And I'll mention this just because I'm a fan of Aubrey. On page 112, Savage Hearts, number 1 of 5, Aubrey Sitterson and Jed Dougherty on writing and art duties here. She's a brawny barbarian, bruiser with a broken heart. He's a lonely beastman who talks to dinosaurs. What happens when they team up against an evil sorcerer? Action, comedy, and romance, that's what. Really, what else do you need?
Natch.
Exactly. That's on page 112. And I think that's about it for Dark Horse for me, personally.
I just have a question, and I know that there's toys out because I hear about them. I hear them talked about, but I don't know. This Apex Legends, is that from a video game or is that just a property that's out there?
Apex Legends is a video game property from what I know. Let me double check what type of video game it is, because again, it's a mobile game. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't figure out. I never really did a search on it either, and I probably should have. But yeah. I see this comic here, and I'm like, no, okay, Apex Legends. I got to ask, what is this?
Yep. Yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those free to play mobile games, pretty much. Where and free to play equals sure, you could not pay money, but you really want this mount, don't you?
Yeah.
It only costs $3. Come on, you want to give us money. Come on.
As an addictive nature as I have about some things, video games like that I have never ever done. I play whatever free version for certain things, and then that's it. I'm done.
The only time I ever actually quote unquote spend my money on mobile games is when I've taken enough surveys via Google's survey app where I get free money, and then I'll be like, okay, fine. You want $3 from me, random wrestling game that I play? Like, sure, go right ahead. Take my $3 this month, but only because it's not really my money to begin with. So go figure. All right, I think that's about it, unless there's any trades to call out. And in that case, we're over to DC.
I'm going to call out one trade.
Go ahead.
Hardcover, in fact. On page 119, you were kind of lingering on it a moment ago, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
The Nocturnals Omnibus. It's a hardcover collection. Not usually the kind of thing that I buy, especially since I already own every single piece of Nocturnals content that Dan Brereton has ever produced. But it's fully painted and written by Mr. Brereton, and it's about a team of kind of faintly spooky, macabre champions of justice. It's a bunch of friendly monsters, basically. Halloween-themed champions of justice, fighting to defend an unsuspecting mankind against much darker threats. It's got a bit of a Lovecraftian edge to it. But it's got the beautiful full painted artwork by Dan Brereton, and it's got an engaging cast of characters, most of which you can see on the cover there. Doc Horror and his daughter Eve, or Halloween Girl as she calls herself, Starfish, Polychrome, Fire Lion, and of course the breakout favorite Gun Witch, who you can see in the foreground there. Really wonderful stuff. Great October reading, and I would recommend it to anyone. And I know Jamie occasionally did the same while he was still with us. So buy that thing if you haven't already experienced Nocturnals for yourself.
Oh yeah, and it's a gorgeous cover. I mean, my God.
I miss his bye.
Bye. Yep. All right. Let's say we go over to. All right. You know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I missed this the first time around. I don't get enough Avatar in my life, and that is an adorable cover. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Chibi Volume 1, Aang's Unfreezing Day. They went ahead and made Chibi Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. It's on page 125. If you just want to squee the entire time at the adorableness, then this is probably for you. Kelly Lee Miller and Diana Sim, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Chibi Volume 1, Aang's Unfreezing Day. So cute. So cute. And on that note, let's head over to DC.
Okay.
Alrighty. And they're advertising, hey, guess what? It's a new Man of Steel for a new era. That's never happened before.
Yep.
And they're going with the familiar motif here with the cover, too. And that's a very familiar Superman pose.
I do appreciate the nostalgia in that, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Definitely.
It'll look even more familiar when we see the actual solicit page. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, indeed. Yep. The beginning story of the daring exploits of the 21st century Superman. Superman, son of Kal-El, #1, Tom Taylor, and John Timms. How many times now have they aged up Jonathan Kent? Because
34.
Oh my God. Because I like the Super Sons as Super Sons.
Yeah.
They felt the need to age him up, and now he's Superman. So go figure. I mean, that's a decision that had to be made, I guess, and they're gonna go ahead and explore it now. I know he was the Superman in Future State, so I guess this is feeding into that in one way or another.
It might take place in the future.
Yeah, it might.
True. Very true. Yep.
At the very least, they are having their cake and eating it too, because as we'll see a few pages down, Challenge of the Super Sons is that miniseries is still ongoing as of this month.
Good point. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I look forward to seeing it. I'm one of those guys who actually, I mean, again, I love Legacy in and of itself, and I want to see whether or not this is actual Legacy or whether it's forced Legacy. Because if it sticks, that's one thing. But if suddenly we get 5, 6, 7 issues in, and then all of a sudden he's back to being 6, then that's going to be a problem. I remember, for example, back in the day, I always think of Franklin Richards as a perfect example of that.
I was thinking of exactly the same thing, Ian.
Yep. Where they went ahead and aged him up to be a late teenager, and they had Fantastic Force, I think was the name of the series.
Yep, and he called himself Psylord while he was leading that group. And the next thing you know, like his grandfather or somebody whisks him back into the time stream, and he's right back to being a kid.
Exactly. He goes back to being that nebulous child that is somewhat years old, and that's that's what he's been ever since, pretty much. Yep.
I think he's actually reached his teens by now.
Ah, okay. All right.
He's in the current Dan Slott series of Fantastic Four.
Nice. But Tom Taylor has been writing a lot of great stuff over at DC, and now he has his opportunity to do Superman Son of Kal-El with John Timms of Infinite Frontier on there as well. And page 2, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. Artwork does look stunning, honestly. And now here we are with, meanwhile, guess who's back, baby? Grant Morrison got lonely and he wanted to go back to his old friends, apparently. Superman and the Authority, #1. Grant Morrison and Mikhail Janin.
Not something I ever thought I'd see.
You ain't kidding.
Did Morrison ever write The Authority back in the old days?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he did, if not before Miller, then after. I know he had a little bit to do with it. I know it was mostly Warren Ellis and then Miller, but I have vague recollection of him co-writing The Authority with Miller for some time. But I could be wrong. Either way, it's a property that's made for him. And just seeing The Authority return in any fashion, didn't really see this coming, and yet here it is. And look at that logo for Superman and the temples.
Mm-hmm. Gotta blow this thing to kingdom come.
Yes, they are. Yep. It's apparently going to help launch an all-new Superman status quo, setting up story elements that reverberate back across both Action Comics and Superman Son of Kal-El in the months to come. And not only is Superman putting together a superstar team, but it takes superstars to tell a tale. Grant Morrison, the Green Lantern All-Star Superman, and Mikhail Janin, and superstars like Chris Everly joining us on the call. And it looks really, really good. How are you, sir?
Wait, let me take off my Clark Kent glasses.
Who's that?
Yeah, it's Chris Everly. How did he get here?
Gentlemen,
Good grief.
after a day like this, it's good to see you all.
Good to see you too, sir. We were just trying to figure out, do you remember Grant Morrison writing The Authority? Because we know Warren Ellis and Mark Miller did. I forget whether he co-wrote Authority with Miller at any point.
Honestly, I mean, when I think Authority, I think Mark Miller. I can't help you there, unfortunately.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, either way, very compatible tastes, and I look forward to this. I really want to see where he's going with it. Bringing the characters to the forefront of DC again that really have not been for quite some time. So, good stuff.
Is it forgive me? Is it the original Authority, or are there new characters there?
A little A, a little B. For
Yeah.
The yeah, because we've got, let's see, Clark Kent, the Metropolis Marvel, seeks out Manchester Black, the most dastardly of rogues, to form an all-new Authority tasked with taking care of some business on the sly. So that enough for me right there. Superman and Manchester Black being forced to team up, okay. And Ultra Humanite is involved. So that's, again.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it. Absolutely.
Ultra Humanite with his own team. I wonder if it's going to be a secret society of some kind.
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, it can't be. Can't be. Yep.
Did you look at the pictures below the sketch of the characters?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that looks stunning. I'm such a huge Mikhail Janin fan, and just seeing his takes on Midnight and Apollo, and then also a character called Omak. Yeah. Come on. Just you're writing this for me. Come on.
I always liked the Midnight or Apollo story. I'm glad to see that they're going to be in the book.
Agreed. Yep. Definitely.
And there's Natasha Irons, Steele's niece, speaking softly and carrying a very big hammer.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. That and going back to Legacy, seeing that that they're remembering the next generation characters in some ways. So yeah, very happy to see that. And then over in the Action Comics, he's back in his regular outfit here on the cover, but we've still got Philip Kennedy Johnson writing that, along with Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad. art by Daniel Semperi and Michael Avon Oming. I'm pretty sure we still got backups in here. Yes.
Yeah, there's a Midnighter story written by Clunan, and she's a superb writer.
Oof.
And Oming's involved in that. It's good stuff right there.
Yes, indeed. Yep. So yeah, we were talking about how, you know, I look forward to seeing whether or not this Son of Kal-El is legacy or forced legacy, and we'll find out soon enough whether that sticks or not. Because I'm definitely a huge fan of legacy. Speaking of legacy, he's back, baby.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yep. Static Season 1 by Vita Ayala and Chris Cross on layout.
Oh, great artist.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful choice. And so happy to see Static back in comic form. And yeah,
long overdue.
Long overdue. Milestone deserves its day, and it's finally getting it. And I'm thrilled on page 8. And then we got issue 2 directly afterwards on page 9. And then we get Icon and Rocket Season 1 by Reggie Hudland and art by Doug Braithwaite. Woof. You're just getting that out of the gate, people. That's something. Page 10 for that one.
I love the variant cover on that book.
Oh yeah. Yep. With the Milestone logo a lot more prominent as well. And
yes, it should be.
Oh, and the artwork underneath. I'm such a Braithwaite fan. Love his line work. All right. What else we got over at DC?
A Batman Catwoman special that I wasn't necessarily expecting.
Oh, it's part of the Tom King miniseries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into her origin, her backstory.
Oh, and look who provided the art.
Oh, John Paul Leon. Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Destined to be published posthumously. More's the pity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we haven't mentioned on the show his passing. Yeah, that hurts because what a wonderful artist. Yep.
Well, King. I think King does these types of stories especially well. I think back to some of the annuals he's done. So I'm really anticipating this.
Yeah. I hope they had enough time to put an in memoriam at the end too.
How did he pass away?
Cancer, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd apparently had a long fight with it, but was continuing to work along with it, and this was one of the last pieces he had gotten together before everything happened. So.
Well, I've been enjoying the Batman Catwoman miniseries quite a bit. I'll talk about it more in a future comic talk, but forward to this and the return of Secret Files.
Yes.
Yeah. How about it?
I know Shane would be happy about that.
And well, you know, I kind of back off on getting Secret Files in recent years. Mostly because I miss a different format. I miss the who's kind of thing. I like what they do in Secret Files, but I'd rather have a Secret Files book monthly than specials anymore. But not to take away, it's still nice to see Secret Files out there.
Well, and it seems to be a little bit of a different take on Secret Files, as they're specifically calling this a one-shot adventure for Huntress.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they're more doing this sort of as like the outside the book one-shots, which I'm perfectly fine with. And Mariko Tamake on the story and David Lapham on artwork. And for a character like Huntress, I'm happy to see her getting the spotlight.
Yeah.
Now, Shane, I have to point out one of the worst parts about being late to this episode, not get to hear you gush about Blue and Gold.
Actually,
that's coming up next.
Oh, wow, look at that.
That's coming up next. You're right on time.
On page 19. Oh,
seatbelt click.
Okay, there's a Blue and Gold book. Shane.
Talk about, oh my goodness, never, ever thought it would come to fruition. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. And Dan Jurgens on story with art by Ryan Smith.
Wow.
Yep.
Oof. Man.
Now, Shane, forgive me, because the part of me that still cares a little bit about continuity is really just not outraged, just curious. Blue Beetle is alive?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's been sort of since the last Blue Beetle series, when Jaime Reyes was Blue Beetle and Ted was his mentor.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where this specifically falls into that.
So him being shot in the head, is that either just been wiped out or they've done time travel?
That's
pretty safely invalidated by Flashpoint. And then
Okay, gotcha.
That sort of changed and went by the wayside.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, they were nebulous about it after New 52, and then once they reintroduced the character, that was pretty much like, okay, so that never happened. And you know, because I'm pretty sure Maxwell Lord has also played a part in the DC universe since then. So
yes, he just had a big stint on Wonder Woman.
Yep, exactly. That's why I was saying clearly he got better. Then Ed must have gotten better too.
Well, Shane, I'm going to purchase this and read it with great relish. I look forward to discussing it with you.
I can't wait.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yep. And how about this?
Right. 1, 2.
Oh my God.
Animated style Justice League written by J.M. DeMatteis.
Yep. I absolutely love what DC's been doing with these animated books coming back. And partially because the prices, $3.99. Now this one's a little bit more. The Batman one I think was a little bit less. The first round, at least that's what I remember.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun to see these characters specifically coming back.
And you know what? There's been rumblings, and whether or not these rumblings are true, I would love for them to be true. That there have been rumblings going that there may be a return to the Genieverse.
Yep.
On HBO Max, and if this is leading to that, then that would be something. It's still just rumors, and that's the thing about the internet is that they could say anything, and it's just that.
And many people do.
Indeed. But
people with great power.
I think animated Batman's been in that same breath as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they did make that one animated movie not too long ago that is technically within Justice League continuity. The Legion of Superheroes one that they did.
Yep.
And that was great. But seeing DeMatteis and Tucker, with Ethan Beavers on art, going back to JLU, oh my God, I'm so happy.
Quick tangent question, and we can save most for comic talk. I just want to know: has anybody watched the new JSA World War II film?
Not yet. No.
No, not yet either.
Okay.
Is that on Max already, or is that?
I don't
think
so.
so.
I saw it on Vudu.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on Max.
Got it.
Check.
I have some Google credit that I might be able to use to rent it if need be, and if that's the case, I'll make sure to watch it before our next comic talk.
I'll do the same.
Yep, excellent. And meanwhile, over to Murd for page 21.
Hard pass is what Murd has to say about this. Yeah, page 21, a quote-unquote Shazam miniseries. It's written by Tim Sheridan, who was one of the people bringing us the He-Man miniseries from Dark Horse we mentioned earlier. Art by Clayton Henry, which is a known name, is a good artist, but I hate what they're doing with the original Captain Marvel right now. It galls me that Black Adam is a member of the Justice League, and the world's mightiest mortal has been relegated to the frickin' Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the Teen Titans, but the Teen Titans Academy.
Yeah.
This character's been around for 81 years, and they're treating him like a hero in training. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I've given DC a lot of slack for the way they've portrayed Billy Batson and his alter ego the last few years. I actually kind of enjoyed, as I've said several times, Jeff Johns' most recent ongoing series with Shazam and the new Shazam family, but this I want nothing to do with. Enough said.
But can we just get the covers by Gary Frank and Steve Lieber just framed and put up on a wall, because they are so pretty. I know the quality of the image is not great on here, but it's both of those look amazing.
They do.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Murd has spoketh.
Mm-hmm. And Murd has spoketh trutheth, for that matter, because
And you can just keep right on scrolling there you go, right past it.
Okay. Oh, you passed that? Okay, fine.
Yeah, right.
All right. No Fortnite okay, fine. Yeah, I already had my rant on this. Oh, wait a minute. Is his name there this time? Let's see. Oh, finally, Christos Gage gets his due. Okay, good. At least in this solicitation on page 22, they point out Crystal Cage wrote the thing. And we're moving on. Okay.
I like when Ian gets wrathful.
I hate bad solicitation text. All right. Okay. Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven on page 24. Just looks adorable. And it's a another teen focused graphic novel. Cami Garcia, art by Gabriel Piccolo. And yeah, I just like to see more all ages material out of DC. Page 24. This one's pretty close, as it's I guess teen and above. So good enough. And I love the artwork.
Oh yeah,
pretty stuff. Jessica Cruz gets a reimagining. Unearthed, a Jessica Cruz story on the very next set of pages, page 26. William Rivera and Steph C. reimagine one of DC's greatest Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz, to tell a story about immigration, family, and overcoming fear to inspire hope. I see an Eisner in their future. Enough said, moving on. That actually just sounds awesome. And again, look at this artwork. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Yep. Okay. What else have we for DC?
Batman: The Adventures Continue Season 2.
Ah, excellent.
Page 34.
I go back for. I'm sorry, to that Garth Ennis. What did I just see there?
Yes, you did. You saw Batman Reptilian #2 by Garth Ennis.
Oh, we talked about this last month. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And what a cover for that too.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yep. Yeah. No, I'm very happy to see another season of Batman: The Adventures Continue happening as well. There, Shane, Burnett and Dini and Templeton still on it. Yeah. And it says Zatanna's story. Come on.
Yeah, that can't hurt either.
Yep. I like the new cover design for Batman Detective. I know that this is Batman the Detective, but I kind of hope that they keep like a similar design for the Batman, cover text in general.
This masthead kind of reminds me of the 90s.
Good point. Yep.
And I didn't mean that in a disparaging way.
Oh no. I mean, the Andy Cooper art certainly puts you there too. So yeah.
Oh, so does the Catwoman masthead too.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, Urban Legends. There's a Zdarsky story in there.
Yep. Zdarsky, Rosenberg, Marguerite Bennett, Eddie Barrows. Oof. They're stacking that one on page 36. And yeah, good point again on the Catwoman masthead. Yep. Page 37. All right. Get more Super Sons, Tomasi and Rayner, as previously stated, on 38. And then issue 2 of Checkmate. We mentioned it last month. Here's issue 2 of Bendis and Maleev on Checkmate on page 39. I will read this collected or on the DC Universe app, and I expect it to be excellent because with a creative team like that, it's hard not to be.
Their Daredevil run is still one of the greats.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. All right. Any other singles catch your eyes, gents?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about covers. This cover for Harley Quinn #5 is awesome. Is this the end for Harley?
Zeus from Gravity Falls down there at the bottom?
It certainly does look like him. So whether it is or not, I'm just going to say it is.
Yes, and I'll corroborate you.
Yep. Hugo Strange in that Batman costume. Love it. All righty. Let's head over to trades and see what.
Actually, I had a question. I'm sorry. Go back. I meant to ask you guys this when I was looking at the book.
Sure.
The Last Ride.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Zdarsky story I totally overlooked. Is he writing this whole series?
Yeah, I believe so. It's a mini series. It's only a 7 series. Yeah. Yep.
Shane, you've ordered these, I assume, right?
Actually, I don't think I did. No, because I was trying to stay away from some miniseries. I'll pick it up on the on the app though and read it.
All right, I think I'm going to give that a shot.
Yeah, Apocalypse, once the fiery terror of the multiverse, now a lifeless husk filled with ghosts and dark secrets.
Beautiful cover by Derek Robertson.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay. So what have we over in the world of trades?
I just wanted to point out as you scroll through, the covers DC's producing are really impressive. Like, there's really striking covers for a lot of these books.
I agree with you. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, more so than I've noticed in past months. Like, wow.
Yeah, like the
Really
Strange Adventures number 11 here. That looks so awesome.
That series is tremendous. I'll talk about that more later too.
Yep.
Very pulpy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like we've said, I like all these mastheads that really stand out, really pop. They're very, very indicative of nostalgia for me. 80s, 90s. They just pop.
No, I agree with you, Shane.
Yep. Okay. You don't realize just how much DC actually prints every month until you try to get to their trade.
Yeah.
I thought they were cutting back.
Yeah. How about it?
Yeah, right. Here we go. Okay.
You know what, Shane?
I'll just mention Looney Tunes real quick one more time. Looney Tunes 261, page 76.
Keeping the numbering.
Special delivery.
You know, Shane, as you were commenting in our emails before the show about the few number of books you get compared to, the glory
a couple
days
years ago.
Yeah. And I think about you think about when you were younger and you would actually try to buy the bulk of the titles, let's say, of a particular company. Like, I mean, how the hell does anybody do that now? Look at the sheer number. Somebody must, but
I'm sure they do.
I mean, I used to. I mean, I remember in junior high, I'd get a 20 from my mom, and that would get me, 10 books, and not so much anymore.
Oh God, no.
Let's see, what would that have been for me when I started?
That's 60 cents, my friend.
Yes, it was. That would be 33 books.
Wow.
And I used it too, man. $20, 33 bucks. Yeah, I would get that back in the day.
Look at this.
Page 79. Absolute Fourth World by Jack Kirby, Volume 2.
One hell of a slipcover.
That is a beautiful collection. Look at that. Oh,
gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. I love it. Yep.
When I was looking just yesterday, I pulled off the shelf the Absolute Batman: The Long Halloween, and thumbed through that. Smelled it, of course, because it still smells fantastic. Great paper quality, not that shiny stuff that reflects all kinds of light into my eyes. But it was like, that's a first print, first run. I think it was like $59 compared to $150 for the more current Absolutes, omnibuses and stuff. Just how much of a change in cost over the last 10, 12 years, whatever.
Yep.
Just amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to point out the Darwin Cook cover on page 81 for Batman Adventures Cat Got Your Tongue.
Isn't that something?
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Got a Bronze Age Batman on
there you go, Murd.
Page 82.
Earth H.
Yeah, right. Yes, the world of Bob Haney. Finishing up their collection of all those Bronze Age Batman team-ups from the Brave and the Bold, all the way up to issue number 200, which brought the series to a close. And they don't mention Bob Haney's name in the creator credits there. He's mentioned in the text of the solicitation.
Yeah.
It says Mike W. Barr, Jerry Conway, Alan Brennard, and others, especially Bob Haney. And then art by Jim Aparo, Carmine Infantino, Dick Giordano, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I mean, the Brave and the Bold, going all the way back to like the beginning of the 70s with Neil Adams. I mean, it was a major part of the Bat revival of the Bronze Age. So these are some key stories. They're not all particularly readable, thanks in large part to the aforementioned Mr. Haney, but they're historically significant, and they've got some nice-looking art, and it's a kind of a showcase for a lot of DC characters teaming up with the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm glad you paused here, Ian.
Oh, I paused for a reason, Chris. Page 87 is all yours.
I've praised this series periodically over the years, not as much as Black Panther, of course, but I'm getting this, and I don't order that many omnibuses anymore because they're just too expensive. But
yeah,
Priest is definitely one of those writers who, as great as he is when you go from month to month, it's even better when you do it in one shot because you get all the nuance, all the subtlety. You get more of the subtext. And his Deathstroke run, similar to kind of like what he did with Black Panther, took the character's whole history, put approach from a different perspective. His humor is there. It's wonderful. I highly recommend. If you love the character, and if you haven't read these stories, I highly recommend them because he gets like into the deep relationship with his daughter, his son, like all of it. It's so well done.
And this is going to be a heady tome because I mean it has all 50 issues of it as well as the annual.
And the Teen Titans, the Lazarus story crossover they did too.
Indeed, yep. So good stuff.
Split that into 2 books.
By the way, Murd, I wanted to mention because you were talking about like some of the old creators. One of our listeners, forgive me, I forgot who, posted a link to photos on our site from the 1971 Phil Suling comic convention.
Yeah, I saw that.
Constantine Nasser, the gentleman who brokered our involvement in the Adventures of Captain Marvel serial.
Thank you, sir. And the photos are of excellent quality. But Murd, there's a great photo of E. Nelson Bridwell in there.
Yep, Constantine said he included that for my sake. So
yep, just wanted to mention that. But to our listeners, if you want to see a fascinating snapshot of like the early history of cons, like there's no comic boxes. The books are just piled on tables. Definitely check out those photos.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
You can find them at our Comic Geek Speak supergroup page on Facebook.
Yep. And also, for those of you who are still looking to read yourself some Fables, they're continuing to come out with the compendium editions of Fables, Willingham and Buckingham's Epic. This is Compendium 3, which is covering.
I got to start over because I never finished it.
Yeah, I may just pick up where I last left off, or pretty close to it, because I have a basic idea of where it was. But I'll just have to get them from the library because I think I actually sold off all my singles. And the Fourth World, here we are.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So this has all the complete runs of all the key titles from that period. Superman's Pal, Jimmy Olsen, The New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle, and the Hunger Dogs graphic novel, where Kirby, sort of ends his story, so to speak.
It's over 1,500 pages of Kirby content.
That's not for Shane. Way too big.
It's true.
Yep.
That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Wow. You know what? Just for a moment here, let me see if I can make sure that I'm sharing correctly on the page. Here we are. Switch it to screen 2. Just for anybody who wants to see what some of these images look like from the thread that we're talking about here.
Who's that young man in the lower left corner there?
My oh my, yeah, 21 different images.
Gil Kane.
Yep.
Oof. That's Dick Giordano.
Yep. Denny O'Neil,
very young.
Oh my God. Yep. Yeah. So any of you who want to see some young pictures of some of the greatest creators in comics history, just head on over to Supergroup.
Absolutely. It's a real treat.
Yep, really is. Yep.
Also some sideburns to rival my own. I would fit in that crowd.
You sure would, Murd.
Indeed. Yep. All right. Any other trades of note?
On page 90 there, this is a mini-series that I've touted a couple of times and nominated for a couple of things in our Best Of Awards. It's Steve Orlando's Gotham City Monsters. Mm-hmm. It's a ragtag confederation of, it's Grant Morrison's Frankenstein monster from 7 soldiers and a handful of lesser-known and not particularly human-looking Batman villains. Lady Clay, Killer Croc, Orca. Also, Andrew Bennett, Eye Vampire, and a couple of other surprises thrown in, too. Put up against a macabre threat to the entire multiverse.
Nice.
Didn't Eye Vampire have a brief New 52 series?
He sure did.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Written by Joshua Hale Fialkov, I believe.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I think when New 52 started, actually, if I remember correctly, that was part of the run, yeah.
You're going to want to go down to at least page 93.
Okay, here we are, page 93, and here we go. Now, this is a brand new collection of Starman. So I feel like this has most of the stuff that was in that first omnibus, but I could be wrong.
It has 0 through 42, so it takes up the first 2 or 3 omnibus.
Okay, got it.
Because there was a 6 volume omnibus setup, which the way that was, I've said it before, not just because it's Starman, that's the perfect way to do collected editions for me.
Yep.
You heard it here, folks.
But this really does have everything you need for the first half of the story.
And do we want to take this opportunity to mention our next book of the month selection?
Go right ahead. It's your
We're
pick.
going to be reading Starman issues 1 through 11.
Indeed.
Issues 1 through 11 of Starman. So jump in on that.
There's perfect time.
There's many different ways for you folks to get it, whether it be whether you have the omnibus or whether you have the DC Universe app or Comixology or the original trades for that matter or the original singles. Many different ways you can read the first 11 issues, and we're going to go ahead and do that for our book of the month, which we should really just rename to book of a month, but it will happen. We promise.
We'll shoot for the summer for that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But very, very good choice there, Chris.
Yeah, but it's been a long time that some of this story has been out of print, so this is a great time.
Agreed. Yep.
Oh, look at this, Murd.
And how about this? Yeah. Yep. A tabloid edition.
Tabloid side.
Yeah. You don't see that every day.
It's another Bronze Age blast from the past. They're not telling us exactly which Superboy and the Legion story they've chosen to blow up here, but it's written by Levitz, art by Mike Grell. And it's look at that 70s fashion sense. So,
tremendous.
Cosmic Boy all set for a night at Studio 54.
And I love how my darn thing just went all the way back up, but I love how the coloring kind of makes it look like this entire thing is earth tones. Like it looks like he's not wearing a shirt at all.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's actually bare flesh.
No.
That was what Cosmic Boy wore back then.
Boy. Oof.
And look at those sideburns, Murd. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hear the disco.
Love it. Yep. All right. And here's something that I'll point out. Page 95. It's been reprinted tons of times, but we're at the 25th wedding anniversary.
Oh my God.
Holy mackerel.
Superman and Lois.
Another misprint.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh boy. Yeah. I can't. I bought it off the shelf back in the day, and I mean I was thrilled, and I remember too they had to postpone the wedding in Superman and Lois, or Lois and Clark, the Real Adventures of Superman.
Lois and Clark. Sure
to correspond with the one in the comics, because the one in the comics got delayed, so they had to create this stupid alternate Lois storyline where they went and got married, but it turned out to be some sort of false clone of her or something like that. It was so stupid.
I've never watched an episode of that show.
You're not missing much. You're not missing much, especially for Dean Cain anyway.
I enjoyed it when it was out.
Yeah, it had its time and its place, and
it's very, very 90s.
Yeah. And of all the people out there who have played Superman, who might have the morals and standards of Superman, Dean Cain ain't one of them, and I'm sticking to that. So that's that. Enough said. We got the collection of Sweet Tooth: The Return. For any of you who are fans of that and are looking forward to the Netflix series, this is the sequel to Sweet Tooth: The Return, written and drawn by Lemire, cover by Lemire, lots of Lemire.
Hey, what I'm loving tonight is that you've got the salty side of Levinstein, coinciding quite nicely with the Borscht Belt side of Levinstein.
It's the way it has to be, sir. It's the way it has to be. Yeah. Now, how about this on page 98?
Very interesting.
Yeah. Dark Knight's Death Metal #1 soundtrack special edition. Rise Against with flexi single Broken Dreams Inc. Special edition of Dark Knight's Metal, featuring an all new cover by Dave Johnson that showcases Batman with the members of the band Rise Against, and comes with a flexi single of the track Broken Dreams from the upcoming Dark Knight's Death Metal soundtrack produced by Tyler Bates.
The last time I got a flexi record like that, I think it was a Bloom County trade paperback back in the 90s.
I love that they did this.
No, it's neat.
Yeah, it's a super cool concept. Yeah. I dig it. Yep. Oh boy.
Notice they haven't committed to a price for it yet, though.
No, they haven't, and that's worrying.
Well, it says it's very limited. There's 3,000 copies to comic shops, it said, and then 2,000 for this one.
Yep. Allocations may occur.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, I'm thinking back to my retelling days. I don't know if they've changed. I mean, they may have, but stuff like that, they'd often give like a suggestion.
Yeah.
And then the retailer would then kind of do what they wanted to do.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm imagining that this is going to be the sort of distribution that you would find on, say, like Record Store Day, where like it'll completely depend on how big a store it is. And then they'll just, give that amount to the store, and then whatever they have, you buy what they have. And then if you can't, eBay you go. And that's it. All right, gentlemen, over to the rest. Well, not the rest of the book, but more book. And let's head on over to IDW. For that matter, Chris, was there anything of note that you wanted to point out earlier on in the book? I mean, I know we mentioned a decent amount, but
I'm sure you did. I mean, I don't want to drag us out too much. No, I'm sure you guys talked about like Black Hammer. I'm sure you talked about He-Man by Kevin Smith. And, So we're good. We're good.
Okay, good. We even made a shout out to you when we got the Black Hammer. We were like, okay, Chris would be mentioning this, and that was that. Bermuda #1. John Layman and Nick Bradshaw. What a team on page 132. I'm such a huge fan of Nick Bradshaw.
This cover reminds me, and I mean this a good way, of some of the cross-gen stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Good point. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Scion or was it Meridian?
Mm-hmm.
That was
good books, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The cover has that feel.
Yep. And Nick Bradshaw, I mean, his Wolverine and the X-Men is still one of my favorite runs on a.
Is that the one Jason Aaron wrote?
You got it.
Good stuff. That was good stuff. Yep.
Beautifully dynamic artwork all throughout that, and I can tell that that's what he's going to be bringing to the table here as well.
We're looking at the next Arthur Adams, ladies and gentlemen.
Agreed. Yep. And especially when it comes to Art Adams sometimes just does covers and occasionally does series. Every cover Bradshaw does is dynamite, and that's
well, and it says here Adams has doing some of the alternate covers.
That's true. Yep.
Oh wow.
So you get the best of both worlds here. Yeah, but it looks like a really cool adventure series. There's a region in the Atlantic Ocean where planes disappear, ships are lost, and traveling souls go missing, never to be heard from again. And there's an island within this place, mysterious and uncharted, untouched by time and civilization, where all who are lost end up, human or other. Bermuda lives here. That's cool. You got me sold. And oh my god, look at this artwork.
Lush tropical settings, giant reptiles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I approve.
It definitely looks like a fun adventure.
Yep. I'll also point out the Wolverine and the X-Men was one of the first ones to sort of play with the idea of Krakoa again.
That's right.
And Bradshaw got to draw some excellent Krakoa stuff there, and now Krakoa's what it is with Hickman's run.
Yep, I pre-ordered this series when it was first offered over a year ago, and I'm damn well going to do it again.
Yep. Meanwhile, speaking of the X-Men, on page 134, Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition.
That is 268, one of the all-time great one-shot single-issue X-Men stories.
So good. I still say to this day, it's the best Jim Lee. That era of Jim Lee is easily his best stuff. And I feel like it encapsulates the late 80s and early 90s of comics perfectly, but when he was a little bit more tame and he was given a specific scope of where he could go, that's where Jim Lee was at his best. When he was at his most focused, And it's like this and Hush is where I go to for my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's terrific.
This with that X-Men #1, man, I can remember exactly what store I bought that in. That was my gateway into the X-Men.
Shane, the fold out poster is still on my childhood wall back at my mom's.
Wow.
I did finally eventually buy a new copy of it, but I remember that was one of the few covers I ripped out of a comic. And it's been on my wall since the mid 90s. So,
Wow.
Yep.
I love thinking about the rebellious young Levinstein like that.
And what's funny too is I look back at it today and I'm like, okay, this poster makes no sense. What are they even standing on?
Then the older Levinstein comes in and just pours cold water and everything.
Why were they drawing like this?
What is X Factor standing on? Is there a thing in the middle of the world? I don't know.
Is there a motor? Is there a stage?
How about this? Ballad for Sophie on page 135. It's Philippe Milo and Juan Cavilla. A young journalist prompts a reclusive piano superstar to open up, resulting in this stunning graphic sonata exploring a lifetime of rivalry, regret, and redemption. Ooh.
Set in 1933 and 1997. It's 2 period pieces in one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Digging it.
I just love when comics, explore just different storytelling genres like this. So
Oh yeah.
wonderful.
Absolutely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's another top shelf sub imprint. It looks like there, right?
It is indeed.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's always high marks for me.
Yep. It's issue 4 or 5, but let's just look at Godzilla, Monsters, and Protectors, right? Just for a minute here, and how awesome that cover is. I love it. He's just looking right at the camera too. He's just sort of like, "Hey, is there something on my back?"
See, now the way that one looks, it looks like his left eye is giving the stink eye.
Yeah.
Well, you just look, like in another second, those pilots are all dead. But
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yep. Jeremy Whitley gets to draw more young all readers Marvel stuff as well. Jeremy Whitley gets to write it. Gretel Lusky, Derek Charm, Bill Underwood, and a bunch of others on Marvel Action Chillers, available in September. So good to see there.
More Jeremy Whitley on page 139 as the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series hits the century mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lead story by Whitley and Andy Price, who's been a workhorse, pun intended, for this series over its 100-issue run. And there's even a backup story by the returning good friend of ours, the patron deity of dork, Katie Cook.
Yay!
I almost spat out root beer on my microphone. Magnificent Murd.
I love it.
Accomplished.
Yep. Yeah. Well, she has a lot to do with the My Little Pony comic, and it's happy to see her return in one way or another.
And how?
Mm-hmm.
And the show is not running anymore, correct?
That's right. It ended with season 9 about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yep. And season 10 is continued in comic form.
Right.
And Sonic the Hedgehog gets a 30th anniversary celebration deluxe edition as well.
I might have to get that for my son. He got a kick out of it Christmas time. I ordered him a I think it was a manga Super Mario Brothers collection, and he loved it.
Oh yeah.
I'd be tempted to get him this because he does love a good Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's and it's all new stories from a bunch of the creators
really?
that have done Sonic the Hedgehog over the years.
I didn't realize it was new.
Yeah, and fan favorite writer Ian Flynn returns to the Blue Blur, joined by Adventure Zone creators and New York Times best-selling authors Justin Travis and Griffin McElroy. Anybody who's a fan of the Adventure Zone should be checking this out, as well as USA Today best-selling author Gail Galligan, getting her take on Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah, this looks pretty cool for the 30th anniversary celebration. Page 141.
That was my gateway into modern video games was Sega Genesis and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep, indeed. My Sega came with Sonic 2, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. So that started me off. And then how about this, gentlemen? the Star Wars episode graphic novel adaptation box set, 4 through 9, right here.
Kind of strange.
Yeah.
I'd go 1 through 6 or 1 through 9. I don't know that I'd go 4 through 9.
It's the Skywalker section of the saga.
Well,
I
guess.
True. Yeah, but still, I dig this, and I love a good, anything that's booked that's collected like this. I appreciate, and I love the covers for it, and I just love that these things exist. Period. Graphic novel adaptations of some of the biggest movies of all time, and that they're not also photorealistic. I appreciate.
Yes, I do appreciate that very much.
Yep. All right, what else we got in IDW?
I think I'm good myself. But...
we've got another trade of early Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai on page 149. I just got volume 1 of this in my last DCBS shipment over the weekend, and now here's volume 2. It's the issues 7 through 12 of the old Fantagraphics series.
Very good.
I have to order that volume 1 because I never read it, and so we can discuss it.
I will need to do the same. Huh. Look at this. Batman the Animated Series Shadow of the Bat and Batman the Animated Series Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Wow. Slipcase editions of that. That's something. Huh. All right.
Those are games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they are. I didn't even know those existed, and I'm glad they do. And I guess IDW has a deal with DC on it. So cool.
Yeah, I think they've been out for a while.
Yep. 40 highly detailed miniatures and 24 gameplay scenarios.
Maybe not. I don't remember miniatures in the ones I've seen.
Yep. And on that note, we're at Marvel.
I think I am going to have to take my leave of you gentlemen, though. I have things to take care of.
No worries. Was there anything in Marvel you wanted to bring up?
No, not specifically. I fly a little bit loose with Marvel, mostly because I have the app. So 6 months down the road, I look at what was hot.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us for what you could, Shane.
All right.
Take care,
thanks,
brother.
Guys.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Too.
And once was 4 becomes 3. And it's starting off with they've never used this name before. Amazing Fantasy? What? Amazing Fantasy number 1 of 5, 5-issue miniseries. Carrie Andrews on writing and art for this one. That and a Simone Bianchi alternate cover. And wow. Experience these heroes like never before. Red Room Black Widow, Teenage Spider-Man, World War II Captain America, brought to you by Carrie Andrews. I love the art.
They all wake up on an island lost in time.
Yep. Good time caper for us fans of time.
Yep.
And then Doc Ock is back. Sinister War. Spencer Bagley.
Well, look at that art. Oh,
oof. Brilliant.
Whole bunch of Spider-Man villains in a brouhaha, and it's
even Stegron. I see Stegron there, Murd.
Oh yeah, Stegron the Dinosaur Man.
they're deep,
Cobra.
Deep
yeah. There's if you look at the image on page 5, there's even more deep cuts. Like the White Rabbit is in there, Lady Octopus. Yeah, so it's basically 2 different rival Sinister Sixes: the Dr. Octopus's Sinister Six versus the Vulture's Savage Six.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Ock versus the Vulture.
And
more classic spider foes there aren't.
Can I also point out that the variant covers are by a bunch of people that haven't worked for Marvel in a while? Variant cover by Gary Frank. Variant cover by Brian Hitch. Both of these guys have mostly been DC for a while. And yet here they are. I mean, whether it be file footage or whether it be brand new covers, this Hitch one certainly looks like a new one. Happy to see them returning to Marvel in one way or another, even if it's just covers. And yeah, this it's 70 issues now. I'm gonna have to read Spencer's run. Even if I start at the beginning and I get to it by next year, I'll have caught up eventually, because I hear so many mixed things about it. People either love it or hate it after Slott stuff. And I'd love to see where I fall, whether I'm somewhere in between, which I probably expect to be, or somewhere else. We'll see, because I'm a huge Spider-Man guy. I just fell off.
It happens.
Mm-hmm. I love this cover also for Spider-Man number 71. Oof. Man, oh man. Extreme Carnage.
Alpha.
Welcome back to the 90s, gentlemen.
Yeah.
With a bullet.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for Venom 2. I'm going to see this stupid movie.
I never saw the first one.
I saw the first one. It was stupid. But
it was. This one's going to be even more stupid, but it's going to own it even more.
Is Tom Hardy reprising the role?
He is. Mm-hmm. And Cletus Cassidy is Woody Harrelson.
Who else could play it but him?
Exactly.
Natural born killer all over again.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd say watch the first one, go into it, place it in your head as like 2003 era Marvel movies.
Is that when that was made?
No.
Okay.
It was.
Okay. All right.
Place it in your head.
It was more recent than that. All right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I even reviewed it as such on the show. Like, if you think of it as a Marvel movie that was made around the time that Daredevil came out, then you can place it accordingly, because it's not a good modern, superhero movie, but it has the sensibilities of those movies, and it kind of makes it fun that way.
Okay. Does the movie acknowledge Spider-Man or no?
Sort of.
Okay.
But not really.
All right.
Yeah. You'll probably get more acknowledgement out of the next one, since they do actually. They showed a Daily Bugle in the trailer, so there's bound to be at least a couple of references. But you'll probably get more out of the Morbius one, considering who's going to be in the Morbius movie. But that's to be determined later on.
Do we know if Venom 2 is going to be rated R? Have they determined that yet?
That's a good question, but it better be, because I don't see any way you could do Carnage as PG-13. That's not a great way to go about it.
Yeah. One of the reasons why doing Venom the first time didn't work better than it did.
Indeed. Yep. It's set for release date on September 24th, so they may not have even rated it yet. But we shall see. All right. Anyway, let's get past this here.
Yeah, move on.
It's Philip Kennedy Johnson, so all right, cool enough. But that's I don't care. But here we go. X-Men #1. We get a new X-Men series. Jerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz. X-Men 90s variant by Larry Houston. Deadpool 30th anniversary variant by Rob Liefeld. But yeah, it's a brand new X book from Duggan. So,
top flight writer.
Indeed, and all within the Hickman universe. Great artwork.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Look at this. If you go back to that, I'm sorry, Ian, just go back to the last page there.
Sure.
That keep going a little bit. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry, the other way. My apologies. Black and white. So look at like the shot of Jean Grey here. Like there's such a Neil Adams feel to it. Very dynamic. The panel layout, like her expression. This is great art.
It really is. Yeah.
Really, that's really dynamic artwork.
Yeah. Who's the artist again? Sorry, I missed the name of the initial artist.
Pepe Larraz.
Thank you, Pepe Larraz. All right, excellent. Then we go over to Moon Knight. And first off, McNiven's cover is stunning. Let's see how the rest of the book goes, because there have been a lot of different takes on Moon Knight over the years.
Oh, there sure have.
Yep. Haven't read Lemire's, because I heard that was pretty well praised a couple of years ago. But this is Jed McKay and Alessandro Capuccio on the titular character.
I mean, everybody wants to get into. I mean, Kevin is the authority, but anyone wants to get into Moon Knight, you need to start. You got the Doug Monk stuff. First in Werewolf by Night, and then the 80s series is really where I think people should start. That's where they really establish a lot of the foundations of the character. And I know, of course, that we're going to see the great Oscar Isaac in the role. I was reading about they had some clips online of him doing martial arts training for the show. So looking forward to that. But yeah, Moon Knight, Ian, like you said, depending on the creator, they can go anywhere and everywhere with this character.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I have enjoyed what Jed MacKay has done with Black Cat and Taskmaster recently, so I'll definitely give his Moon Knight a try.
And there's this first appearance in that Werewolf by Night I mentioned before, the facsimile.
Page 19. Doug Munch and Don Perlin.
Don Perlin,
yep. Carla Pacheco and Eleonora Carlini. Spider-Man versus Star. The can't-miss installment of the Infinite Destinies saga is here. But I think this is all part of essentially a 5th week event with annuals.
Yep, it's got to do with the Infinity Stones. Contempt, I'm dripping all over that term, but yeah, that's the basic idea. They're incarnating themselves in human form, and we're being introduced to the new avatars of the Infinity Stones in these annuals.
They do it just to taunt you. I have a feeling, Murd.
It feels that way to me too, Ian. It
really does. Love it.
Well, let's talk about something happier. How about on pages 22 and 23? More Peter David.
Yes. Love it. Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads. More from the in-between times of Spider-Man's lore. And this has David and Land returning to the entire symbiote crew as they take Spider-Man down the road less traveled to the supremely psychedelic crossroad dimension.
Now, isn't this the dimension where the Hulk would often end up in his head?
Probably, because the Hulk is definitely involved.
Yeah,
it says here that this story is set just before Peter David's run on Hulk begins.
Okay.
So this is like Peter David's Hulk number -1.
Because I think Bill Mantlo did some work with, if someone could correct me if I'm wrong on the forums or on the page, but with the Hulk and the whole that dimensional world he would end up in with his psyche, and so it was good stuff. So looking forward to seeing that.
Yep. Some schlub named Cantwell is co-writing the United States of Captain America.
Automatic order. I mean, it's not even a question.
Oh yeah, 5-issue mini, and great artwork about Eaglesham and Natasha Bustos. Like, yeah, come on.
All right, and number 2, Cap meets Nichelle Wright, the Captain America of Harrisburg. And if that's the state capital of Pennsylvania, well, not that I wasn't going to buy this anyway, but hell yes.
Oh, yeah.
Representing in the Keystone State.
Represent. Page 25, we get issue 2 of 5. Didn't realize it was going to be a mini. I probably should have realized that, and I'm sure I did.
We were wondering about that last time.
Yeah, so now's confirmation. It's number 2 of 5 of the Gamma Flight mini. Maybe it'll be successful enough where it'll be its own thing. Who knows?
Always happy to see Puck get some page time.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry you guys mentioned the Kyle Higgins book. I think it's from Image. Where he's
yes, we did.
Talking about different people who were resurrected as gods over and over again. I mean, I'll, gush about Radiant Black next time we do a comic talk, but I'm certainly getting that book. Anything that guy writes, I will.
Oh yeah.
Read. So
let's gush over page 30, shall we? Shang-Chi versus Wolverine in Shang-Chi number 3.
Next comic talk, I'd like to break down the trailer a bit for the film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Peter David,
this is all for you, Ian. All for you.
Speaking of Peter David, baby, page 31, X-Men Legends number 5. I mentioned it in passing last time around. Peter David, Todd Knock, reuniting the Young Justice team on an X Factor in betweener. Yeah, I can't be more happy. This is going to be terrific. And I continue to love the concept of X-Men Legends, especially as they continue to try to make it in continuity. Yes. And that's great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Untold Tales of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of X Factor, by the way, on the very next page, X-Core number 3, multiple man will be involved with X-Core. Heck yeah. Multiple men, multiple solutions.
That when David was doing the multiple man as detective, that's great stuff.
Oh, it's terrific. X Factor
so
Investigations
good.
is the best.
So good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else we got here over in Marvel Land? Spider-Woman in her classic costume.
Love that costume.
Oof. They keep trying to change it, and then they always go back.
It's such a great design. Why would you change it? It's exactly. So good.
A perfect costume. It really is. Page 38, Spider-Woman number 13. And the Clone Saga reaches its cataclysmic conclusion. Miles Morales' own Clone Saga. So
can't be a proper Spider-Man without it.
That's unfortunately the truth. But it's Saladin Ahmed, and I'm actually going to read this whole darn thing because I loved the Clone Saga back in the day, even for how stupid it was. And page 40, yeah, come on. But then page 41, number 4 or 5, Spider-Man.
I just got issue 1 on my shipment, so I look forward to discussing it once I read it.
Excellent. Yep, I have the digital copy of Spider Shadow number 1, actually. So we'll have that read for next Comic Talk.
Bet.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Issue 10 of Cantwell's Iron Man on page 45.
Except no substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the exciting books Marvel's producing.
And it continues to have the best Ross covers. Just so good. Ooh. The biggest change to a Fantastic Four member since Fantastic Four number 1 in 1961 is coming, according to this solicitation. I don't know what that
means. Bigger than when Johnny died and then came back?
Apparently so. Okay. I guess we're gonna find out. Page Fantastic Four number 34. I'll be there. I want to read this whole Bride of Doom arc and see.
I'm going to read it as well. Yep.
Doom. So I really want to know what they're doing. Oh, look at this awesome cover for Black Widow number 9. Love that. Love that.
Great cover.
Yep. Okay.
I have next Comic Talk as well. A lot on the dock. I have Eternals 1 through 3. I have to read them. So talk about that.
Good to hear. Oof. Gorgeous.
This is a series I've been hearing a lot of great things about. And I'm remiss because I've been reading Thor consistently for years, but I have not read this series, so I have to pick that up.
Yeah, it's Kate's. It's bound to be good.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's. Ooh, look at this. 1 issue until Runaways number 100. There's been a bunch of different Runaways series over the years, so that means.
And you've praised this run, correct, Ian?
Great stuff. Yeah. Excellent stuff. And Rainbow Rowell's been on it since it rebooted, so she's continuing to write it, and I hope she does continue. And yeah, it's happy to see it reach 100 issues of Runaways comics in multiple forms. That's pretty damn cool. Ooh. This is it. Countdown to the end.
What?
Page 57, Immortal Hulk number 48. We're almost there.
When they collect that in one omnibus, that's going to be purchased instantly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right. Any Star Wars this month? Oh, let's just look at the cover for this. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters number 2 of 5. They have excellent action figure variant by John Tyward Christopher.
I just got issue 1 of that, so I'll have a report on that as well.
That's
War of the Bounty Hunters.
War of the Bounty Hunters. Yep.
Beautiful. Look at that cover. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Star Wars 15. Yep. Very, very pretty. Let's see. I think that's about it for me on singles. Let's head over to trades. Oh, and one of the best runs of comics.
Yeah, Murd's a fan of this.
Absolutely.
Page 73, Excalibur Omnibus Volume 2. The Davis run.
Cover. Beware the wrath of hard-boiled Henry.
What was great about Excalibur, because I read it for the first couple of years it was coming out when I was middle school, whatever it was. It was so purposely off the wall and different than all the other X-related books.
Yep.
It's such a delightful whimsy attached to it. It's so much fun.
I mean, when you have a one shot called Weird War 3, like, yeah. Come on, what are you expecting?
Did I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, because did I hear that they may have a Captain Britain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
They've been talking about that for forever.
Okay. They have? Okay.
Yeah, nothing confirmed yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's somewhere in the pipe. How about this on page 78, Marvel Masterworks, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 23. Stern, Mantlo, DeFalco, Shooter, penciled by Romita Jr.
And
friends.
The name that really, really matters there is Stern. And stay tuned for a discussion about that down the road.
Yes, it is. And one of the best Spider-Man covers there with the Hobgoblin. Oof. Terrific. And then, baby, if I didn't already have it in softcover, I'd be getting it in hardcover.
It's softcover too. Yep.
Oof. Spider-Man Life Story on page 79.
Masterpiece.
Deserving of the hardcover treatment, because it's so good. So good. Collection of the Maestro Warren Pax collection on page 82 of Peter David's continuation of his Maestro saga. I think that's just about it for me.
One thing I wanted to point out, they have I think volume 3 of the Hickman X-Men series, which I'm reading really in trade. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've been reading Hammer's Heart of the Dragon. I just got issues 4 and 5, so to finish that up, that's been a lot of fun.
So, how about page 91, Curse of the Man Thing?
Yep, I talked about the first issue in our last comic talk. I enjoyed it. I guess this is the whole story.
Yep, written by Orlando, indeed. Yep. Yeah, Heart of the Dragon being collected too. That's a good thing. Sorry, Murd, go ahead.
I was just going to say, those of you who enjoyed the villain's horde culture from the Hickman X-Men series, they play a part in the Curse of the Man Thing.
They do. Yep, I should have mentioned that last time. Yep.
Nice. Oh, wow. That is a stunning X-Force cover. Somehow missed that the first time around. All those evil thoughts escaping Jean Grey's head. Love it.
Ian, quick question, because you're more in the know. The Jean Grey from that wonderful Bendis series, who came from the past, the young X-Men.
Yep.
Did she go back in time, or is she the Jean Grey now?
She went back in time along with the rest of them.
Okay.
They revived our Jean Grey.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Like right before they all got sent back in time. That's when that one got revived, and she starred in X-Men Red back in that during that era. She was head of that team. I think that's it for Marvel for me.
All right.
Okay. Back to the rest of the book. What we got? Starting off with Dynamite. Ooh. How about this, baby?
Well, look at the writers.
Yeah.
That's what sold me, Chris.
Yep. Kurt Busiek writing a Red Sonja story. Come on.
Yep.
Woo!
156, Red Sonja, black, white, red, #1. Very cool.
Not a character I usually care that much about, but if the creative team is right, I've bought into Red Sonja stories before, and I'll do it again.
Indeed. Yep. They've been getting some all-star creators to work on Sonja over the last couple of years. Barbarella. Wow.
Barbarella.
Barbarella #1, Sarah Hoyt and Matabek Musabekov. Pardon the butchering on that one on page 160, but yeah, have not seen a Barbarella story in a while, but here she is.
I've seen that movie in a long time.
Okay. At Dan Abnett.
Yep.
Deja Thoris versus John Carter of Mars, #1. Always nice to see Abnett's name.
Absolutely.
Page 164.
I have to get they have volume 3 here. If you just go back one page there, Ian, thank you. Priest Vampirella run. I a few months ago I talked about how much I love the first one, so I have to get volume 2 and then get volume 3, so I can catch up.
For sure, yep. Okay, and I think that's it for Dynamite for me. And I do believe Boom is next. And we'll be able to talk about the cover story to this previews once we do get there. But first, new 5-issue miniseries, Memo, #1, Sas Malej, written and illustrated by. Proud to showcase the incredible artistic vision of Sas Malej. Can Orla O'Reilly embrace her destiny in order to bridge the divide between humanity and the fairy world? That's kind of all it takes to sell me on it right there. That sounds like an interesting premise, and the artwork looks dynamic and while at the same time simplistic in all the right ways. And I love the characters designs that they show on page 197 as well. So yeah, looks very interesting.
Yeah, it looks a little bit of P. Craig Russell in there, but with
good point, Murd.
Youthful energy and dynamism to it.
For sure, yeah. Liking the use of shadowing on the coloring as well. Very cool.
Oh, wow.
Look who's back. Page 200. We get new Mouse Guard. Mouse Guard, the Owlhen caregiver. Written and drawn by the one and only friend of the show, David Peterson. Long-awaited return of Mouse Guard is finally here. Always happy to see new Mouse Guard.
Yep. Self-contained special in that 8x8 sort of children's bookish format that David prefers.
Yep.
Has this ever been optioned for an animated presentation?
It nearly got made, Chris.
Yeah.
It was only the upheaval with Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox that stalled it.
Because it screams for that. I mean, my God.
They even released at one point, I don't know if it still exists on the internet, but they did release some test footage of what it was going to look like.
Oh.
And they had cast people, including Idris Elba, in the making of the movie, and it just never got past the production phase, unfortunately. Doesn't mean it can't happen again at some point.
Oh, of course not. Yep.
All right. I have way too many friends who are into wrestling, so I will point out WWE The New Day, Power of Positivity #1. Evan Narcisse and Austin Walker on the writing, and Daniel Bayless on the illustrations. The New Day are one of the most fun tag teams that exist in the WWE, and they're huge nerds. They've come out in full Final Fantasy cosplay a couple times, and Xavier Woods is actually going to be one of the people involved with the G4 TV reboot that's happening in the not too distant future. And he also is a regular on the Acquisitions Incorporated Dungeons and Dragons show that I watch every now and then. And here's the New Day in comic form. It's bound to be crazy, and I love it.
The trombone has rarely seemed more macho.
They came out with a cereal called Bootios at one point.
I don't want to know what kind of prize one could find inside that box.
I don't know, but you have to shake it to find out.
Well played.
Thank you. A Dune miniseries, Blood of the Sardaukar, just in time for the Dune movie, which will be coming out very soon, and I cannot wait for it.
Looking forward to that. Great director, great cast.
Yep. And this is on page 206, the miniseries that's starting out with.
Quick question: Is David Harbour in the Dune movie?
That's a good question, actually.
It looks like him on the cover.
It does, yeah, but I think that might just be a coincidence.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing him in the cast, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
However, they did just put out the first teaser for the next season of Stranger Things, so that's going to be coming soon.
Oh, they did? Oh, I'll have to watch that. Oh.
It's barely anything. Like they don't really give anything.
My wife and I just rewatched, because she loves the show and she's like, we're looking forward to it coming back. We just rewatched season 3. Man, the two kids in the ice cream shop, that's priceless stuff.
Yep. All right, I think that's approaching it for Boom for me. And the reminder that the softcover edition for Keanu Reeves' Berserker Volume 1 is being released on page 215. Whoa.
I just had on, whenever I'm doing tedious schoolwork, I always have movies I've seen 100 times in the background. I had on one of my favorites, Dangerous Liaisons, which is a tremendous film. Glenn Close, John Malkovich, Michelle Pfeiffer. And then there's Keanu Reeves. And I'm a Keanu Reeves fan.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain roles he does really well. That was not one of them. But, but the guy definitely has his place. He definitely, I really love a lot what he does. But
oh yeah, definitely.
Don't try to act next to like John Malkovich and Glenn Close. It just doesn't work.
It's a hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do. All right, we're on to the rest of the rest. So what do we got, gents?
I don't think I have a ton. I did read the first issue of Serial, which was wonderful. It's following one of the characters from the Moorverse we've seen in other stories, but I think I missed ordering issue 2, so I have to track that down. But
well, then you can get volume,
or I can just get the volume 1. Yeah,
indeed. Page 230, Serial Volume 1, The Glass Tomb. And then right next to it, Rock and Roll Biographies, Judas Priest. I
can never get into Judas Priest.
Yeah, not exactly my thing either. However, just because they mentioned Judas Priest here and I see what they're wearing, they just announced that there's going to be a Metalocalypse movie to conclude the series. And I'm a happy camper on that, because not only that, but we also get a Venture Brothers movie, and that's going to...
I've seen you posting about that with great enthusiasm.
Ooh, cannot wait.
Another Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie film for theaters.
Well, whoopity-doo to that. I've never been an Aqua Teens fan. But
Aqua Teen was fun.
I enjoyed it.
It would be much better if I was high, and I don't...
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who does not partake, it's not quite my humor, but... Action Lab has Art Baltazar, baby. Big Alien Moon Crush. Trade paperback on page 231. Need to bring that up because whenever art is anywhere, it has to be
wonderful.
Looks like a cute little love story between adorable little alien critters against the backdrop of an adorable little interplanetary war.
Seems like fun. All right, let's continue to scroll down. How about this? Ed Brisson has a new series out of Aftershock on page 234. Beyond the Breach. Life sucks for Vanessa. I think that's going to be a pun. Her mother just died and her boyfriend is cheating on her. To clear her mind, to clear her mind, Vanessa is taking the California road trip that she's been dreaming about for years. Her postcard perfect drive through old growth forests quickly turns when the breach hits. A bizarre anomaly in the sky plunges California into a nightmare world populated with strange extra-dimensional creatures. That's Ed Brisson of Uncanny X-Men, Ghost Rider, and Old Man Logan, and illustrated by Damian Cuchero. who also worked on him with Old Man Logan and worked on some Iron Fist and X-Force stuff.
I love her fuzzy companion. He walked right out of a whole host of different 1980s movies.
Agreed entirely. Yeah, so looks like it could be one of those sleepers right there. And looking at the artwork, it is just creepy enough for my tastes.
Aftershock has done a lot of interesting books. I've only read a handful of them, but they get some really good creative teams.
Oh yeah,
on their stuff.
Definitely. This has an incentive cover by Barry Kitson.
Oh God.
Clans of Bellari. I started following Barry Kitson on Facebook, by the way, and just to watch the sketches that he comes out with, and they all look like they're covers for upcoming works. Like that's how detailed his sketches are. If I could ever afford one, I would definitely get one.
I have a Kitson page of original art. I cherish it. It's from Avengers. What's that year one story called? Damn it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, I'm failing. It's Cap's Kooky Quartet.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
Was it the one
Wade wrote it?
I was going to ask if it was Wade. Yep.
Yeah. But I have a page of Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and Quicksilver, and Hawkeye's doing trick shots.
Very cool. Yep. This is Robin Peter Blackie. And on the far side of the galaxy, an isolated branch of humanity is trapped in a feudal dystopia. Order is maintained by a system of oppression until an orphan girl and her incorrigible adopted father sow the seeds of a revolution and unite the clans against the fearsome aliens.
Unite the clans.
Yes. I love a good alien drama, and this is that. Page 236.
Throw some dystopian there. I might enjoy it as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's scroll down, find some more good number ones to throw out. Anything in between happens, please let me know, gents.
You bet. Don McGregor, they featured him in the beginning of the previous catalog. They had a little feature on him. Again, one of the great writers from the Bronze Age, the Copper Age. I mean, his work on Black Panther is invaluable to that character's history.
Sure.
And he was talking about how he's doing I think he's doing a Zorro comic now. Actually. So
very good.
You can find that on page 250, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back up and take a look at it real quick here.
I mean, I met Don McGregor at
here we are.
He was very generous with his time, and when we did our Black Panther spotlight 5 years back, he posted a really nice reaction to it.
Excellent.
Excellent. Just a real gentleman to meet, and a very important. I mean, and for me, one of the great writers in comics, especially read not only Jungle Action, but he and Colin did a Marvel Comics Presents story. The Black Panther goes into South Africa during the apartheid to find his birth mother. It's tremendous. Highest recommendation.
It looks like this is the first time he's worked on Zorro in 15 years. Yep. Happy to see him working still, period. Yep. That's excellent.
God, they made so much mileage out of Crossed.
Right?
Jeez Louise.
I know.
I read the original Garth Ennis story, which was great. It was utterly terrifying. But I haven't read any of these offshoots. It's
kind of all Avatar does anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that can only get you so far, I guess. But how about this, gentlemen, on page 270? Look who's back. Written and drawn by Frank Cho. Fight Girls, #1. I think I know exactly which audience he's going to be going for with this one. But 10 hard as nails women face off in an ancient contest of champions where the winner truly takes all. The title of Queen of the Galaxy. Yeah, right. Fred Cho, like I said, Frank Cho knows his audience, and he's going for it here. This is going to be some good images of women, and they're fighting, and it's Frank Cho, and that's all I have to say.
There might be a story in there somewhere too, but nah.
Potato, honestly. Page 270 for any of you interested.
Well, we already talked about issue 1 of this, the new Innis.
Yep.
Straw. I'll report on that when I get it.
Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal #3.
Great cover.
Page 272.
Has anyone read that new Straczynski book? that just went past the Resistance? I have not. Have you,
Not yet.
anything about it, or okay?
I mean, I've heard some people say that it's reminiscent of some of his older stuff, but
Okay.
I haven't really read any of it. Anybody who has, feel free to post about it on
Please,
the
please. I'd be interested.
Let us know what you think. Yep.
I see Jamal Igle has a book there. He just went.
Yep. White number 4. This is all in the Black universe, and this is now the opposite color. And after the battle between First Son and X derails his plans, President Man changes course and makes a surprising alliance in White number 4.
That's right. President Theodore Mann, the man. Yes, it's set in an alternate reality where only black people have superpowers.
Yep. Okay.
Admittedly, Ian, I had such a somewhat unpleasant day that I didn't get a chance to look at this as much as detail as I would have liked. But this part of the previews anyway. Yeah.
Well, this looks like it could catch all of our eyes, frankly. Cassidy's Secret, number 1 on page 285. Charles Holland and Antonio Fuso. When a comet lands on Earth, it brings a child who will become Earth's most powerful hero. I feel like I've heard that before. As well as an ultra virus that grants powers to a select few. That I've heard a little less. In a world where those with superpowers invoke fear and awe, some become celebrities, others scapegoats. Who will defend the powered few when the many seek to cage and or control them? Interesting premise. Yeah. I dig it. Cassidy's Secret, number 1. Charles Holland, Antonio Fuso, 285.
Well, I have to say, when it comes to superpowered stuff, as summer approaches, I'll be getting my copies of Invincible.
Can't wait for you to tell me what you think.
Indeed.
Dial Books has Giggles Are Coming, a new Chris Eliopoulos.
Yes.
Yep. Page 289. I love everything he's ever done.
Absolutely.
So much fun, all ages, and the joy just permeates every pore of a Chris Eliopoulos book. Past Dynamic Forces, because hey, you want to spend a lot of money on a book that a lot of money? Hey, head to Dynamic Forces. All right. Let's see here. Ooh. Another History of Art by Anita Kunz on page 299. Award-winning painter and illustrator Anita Kunz reimagines the most iconic paintings in the history of Western art from an irreverent feminist perspective. Very fascinating. And I dig the cover, and I dig the artwork associated with it. This could be some irreverent fun, I feel like.
I always love irreverent fun. What was that Dracula thing you just went past there? I just wanted to take a quick peek at that.
Here we are. Alberto Breccia's Dracula on page 298. Full color collection of
satiric short stories.
Yep.
Chronicling the waning days of the most famous vampire of them all. Literally defanged. The protagonist's glory days are long behind him, and corrupt government officials are now draining the life of the villagers far more than one creature of the night ever could. That sounds immensely fun.
That really does, yeah. That Fantagraphics' 4th entry in the Alberto Breccia library also includes a behind-the-scenes look at Breccia's early sketches and layouts. That's on page 298, and only costs $20 for the hardcover.
Can I ask you to turn back one more page, Ian?
Sure can. 297, here we go.
Yep. Something here of some interest to Ditko fans and also fans of Giant Monsters. A family edition of something originally published by Charlton back in '68. Fantastic Giants facsimile edition.
Good catch, Murd. Good catch.
In September of '66, the biggest monsters on the comic stands were Gorgo and Conga. Originally published by Charlton, this one-shot all Ditko monster special is reproduced on high-quality paper in a special facsimile edition, 68 pages, by Steve Ditko and Joe Gill. It's just adaptations of some classic
That's a great
British monster movie.
Great piece
Gorgo
there.
and Conga.
Wow. Yeah, that's super awesome.
Well done, Murd.
Happy to see that reprinted in one form or another. $297.
By the way, Ian, as you scroll through some of the independent stuff here, it reminds me that I've watched about half of American Splendor. And I look forward to discussing that with great enthusiasm on our next Comic Talk.
Super glad you got around to watching that. It's such a favorite of mine. Love it.
You saw the cameo appearance by Rusty Venture in that movie?
Yes, I did actually. Good times all around. 298. Queen of the Ring wrestling drawings by Jamie Hernandez. I mean, first off, it's Jamie Hernandez, so like that's all it takes. But this is a parallel universe to his Love and Rockets world. Is set in the heyday of 1960s and 70s women wrestling with an entirely new original cast of characters who age and evolve. Book spotlights the women who are often ignored in pro wrestling in 125 full-color illustrations, pinups, action shots, fake wrestling magazine covers, echoing the Lucha Libre magazines of the 60s. This sounds super awesome. And I may need to get it for one or two people that I know. So yeah, Queen of the Rings wrestling drawings on 298.
Wow, your wrestling fan friends must be in hog heaven with this episode.
I know, right? Okay.
Something kind of neat on the bottom of page 300 there.
I think I know where you're going.
Yep, from First Second. It's an all-ages graphic novel for Beatles fans. It's called Lucy in the Sky, written by Chiara Brinkman and art by Sean Cheeky, who are a married couple, incidentally. And it's a story of a young lady named Lucy, who is just starting seventh grade. Her father is a widower, her mother is dead, and her life is in kind of an in-between place. And she discovers a love of the Beatles music and puts together a band of her own to play it. And I guess it's all about how the Beatles music helped her to get through this difficult patch in her life and find new friends and all of that. Sounds like a nice, inspiring little story, and it's good for the Beatles fan of any age in your life.
Splendid.
Excellent. Yep. Of course, now I feel like I need to rewatch Across the Universe, even just thinking about that.
A movie with ups and downs for me.
Yes, I would agree with that. But one of my favorite is Eddie Izzard's "I Am the Walrus." Is
oh yeah,
good part of that. Good part of it.
Which movie is this we're talking about?
Across the Universe.
Across the Universe. Yeah. I think I remember David D telling us that he had a walk-on role in one of the scenes in that movie.
Now I'll have to try to find him.
I think he said he was paired with a lady who was much taller than he was. They were both wearing bright yellow and possibly walking a dog.
Ian, what's that Archie Goodwin thing? I saw a feature on Archie Goodwin. Did you?
Oh, yes, here we are. Creator you should know, Archie Goodwin, on page 304.
Oh, so they've highlighted some of the great stuff Goodwin. I mean, Archie Goodwin, as I'm sure many listeners know, was both a great writer, and he was also well known and well loved as an editor.
Yes.
Throughout his career, he was involved in the Marvel Epic line. They had the Epic Illustrated there. He did the great Star Wars newspaper strip comics with Al Williamson. I think he wrote all the movie adaptations in the comics as well. Really important creator. He started in Warren. They show some Vampirella stuff down there. He did the Manhunter with Walt Simonson. Blazing Combat, some of the great war comics from the Warren house. And everything I've read about him is that he was just a very well-loved person too. So very important creator. I'm glad to see that spotlight there.
Indeed. How about the very next page on 305, the Haunted Mansion Little Golden Book. Lauren Klaus and Glenn Brogan. Any of you Disney fans out there with kids who may be into it? Go ahead and find out about the story behind one of the best Disney rides in existence, the Haunted Mansion. And
next to that, an historical comic addressing the Apache Wars of the latter 19th century. Is that the Ethan Hawke?
Yeah.
Who's writing that?
Yes.
There can't be that many of them in the world.
I think. I think he's written before. Okay. So yeah, I know he's written movies before. So
yes, I knew that, but
this is within his wheelhouse. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Down below, from the same publisher, Meadowlark: A Coming of Age Crime Story by the same creative team, and it does come right out and say that it's Oscar-nominated actor and writer.
Okay,
No,
great.
it's that guy.
Indeed. Very cool. The Ghoul Next Door. Cullen Bunn. All ages. Enough said. Page 306. Yep. Cullen Bunn and Kat Ferris do an all ages ghost book. Love it. Okay.
You know, some of the most exciting stuff is always in the rest of the book.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. And Humanoids continues to be another one of those good gem companies where you're bound to find some new and interesting things. Here's one. River of Ink on page 312. Contains an exclusive interview with the one and only Scott McCloud. So that's super awesome. But a thought-provoking book about the very origins of art and of the art of illustration, what it means and why it exists. River of Ink, written and drawn by Etienne Appert. Very, very nice.
Mm. By the way, and I want to say that Jamie D would be proud the way you helm these previous episodes. Well done, sir. Well done.
I try to do half as good as what Jamie did. That's all I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was a big back of the book treasure hunter, and
yes, he was
as well.
Yes, indeed.
Look, this is Alex Raymond book here. Go back to that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's the copy.
Yep. The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. Dave Sim and Carson Gruba. And yes, here is said copy. Renowned worldwide, obviously for Cerebus, and now in The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, Sim brings to life the history of comics' greatest creators using their own techniques, equal parts understanding comics and from hell.
Huh.
Yeah.
You're talking about Alex Raymond, Stan Drake, and Hal Foster.
Yep.
Wow.
Digging that.
Speaking of From Hell, there's a foreword by Eddie Campbell.
Ah. That's all on page 318. I feel like Chris Sabella is a familiar name. I'm trying to remember from where. But
I can't help you there, my friend.
Yeah.
It rings a bell with me too, Ian, but I can't place it either.
Yeah. Page 320. Haley and her mother, Max, are alone after their mother's death and are sent to Wayfair Academy, a special needs boarding school. Eventually, they find family amongst other deaf children. One night, the group decides to dip their toes in a crime. The thrill is too much to leave behind. They soon find out that stealing from the wrong person has its consequences. So, all right, we got deaf criminals. Yeah, that's not something you see every day. 320. Okay.
I'll go back to that Janis Joplin.
Oh, definitely. Love Me Please, the story of Janis Joplin by Nicholas Finney, and art by just plain old Christopher, no last name.
I love, I hope this is the case, but well done, comic biographies like this. Janis Joplin is everybody knows who Janis Joplin was, but she has such an interesting life story, and of course, a tragic one. So I'd be interested to check this out. And then they went on the Rolling Stones, and across from that.
Yep.
Also got the Beatles, Bob Marley, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've mentioned the Beatles one before, definitely on previous comic talks, but previous previews, that is. Yep. Once again, a reminder, by the way, I know we've mentioned it before, but August 14th is the new date for Free Comic Book Day. Put that on your calendars, gents and ladies. Ooh, okay. 328. Orcs in Space, numbers 1 and 2, written by Justin Roiland, Michael Tanner, Rashad Geith, and Abed Geith, illustrated by Francois Vigneault, but written by Justin Roiland. That's all I had to hear, because you got that Rick and Morty pedigree going, and that's enough to get me interested. It's a new concept from the very interesting mind of Roiland, and this includes both issues 1 and 2 on page 328. Okay.
This is a story I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Underground. This came out some years back, I think, if I remember correctly. But it's Jeff Parker and Steve Liebers. That's a great creative team right there. And just about a park ranger who gets involved in obviously this cave and this town she's living in, and politics surrounding the cave. It's really well done. It's the kind of story that you necessarily wouldn't think would be that interesting, but it really is. Like it's I remember really enjoying the miniseries when it came out, however many years ago that was. It's a while ago, but good story.
Anything by Jeff Parker is a good story.
Yeah, wonderful creator.
We got another Rick and Morty story here. Presents The Hotel Immortal. A more Rick and Morty for you on 338. And somewhere,
Paul Cornell, Doctor Who.
Not just that, Colin Baker also writing. So that's a co-writing gig between a doctor and Paul Cornell, a writer of Doctor Who, on page 340. Somewhere Pants is just getting himself in glee on this one. That's an awesome creative team right there under Panini UK. And yeah, Doctor Who story that I'm looking forward to checking out.
La, 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 la.
I'm sorry. Smurfs Tales Volume 1. Yes, by Peo. So it's original surf Smurf stuff.
It's getting late.
I know, but also that's a tongue twister I wasn't expecting on 342. Smurfs stuff. Try to say that 3 times fast. that. All right.
Classic.
Yeah, I know. Let's head on over to our heart of hearts. Let's see what they have this month. Let's see.
The key to my heart, baby.
Oh, I know. just takes a while to get down to them. That's all.
Love you, Pooh.
Gotta get past the Titan. Tohan. Ooh, got some interesting stuff there. All right, moving on. Here we go. Wait, hold on. Before we get there,
do what you got to do, baby.
Valiant.
There's the aforementioned Jeff Parker with Javier Pulido.
Yes.
Wow, that's a team.
Ninjak #1 on 69. The Return of Ninjak, and yeah, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
out of the shadows and into the spotlight, the world's greatest super spy has been exposed. Welcome back, Ninjak.
Never my favorite Valiant character, but with that team,
exactly,
I will welcome him back too.
Yes. Yep, they have chosen well on that one. And then the Return of the Visitor, which wasn't that a character that Stan helped invent, if I'm remembering correctly?
Oh, I can't help you on that one. I apologize.
No.
Okay. No. What am I thinking of then? I'm thinking of another character that was, I think, created by Stan and then written by Mark Waid. That had a very similar name that I'm trying to remember. Whatever. It'll come.
Someone. I'm not sure about that one actually.
Yeah. But either way, Paul Levitz is writing this one on the Visitor. So yeah, this is that's it. Trade paperback, issues 1 through 6. I know we mentioned the original Once Upon a Time, but yeah, it's Levitz. Okay. Get past all that there.
Just head back to Tomorrow's when you can, buddy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
What was the page number on Tomorrow's anyway?
366.
Murd. He's got the ammunition case again.
6. Here we are. Okay. Voila.
So go back a little bit. There you go. The back issue.
Oh yes.
So they're offering again issue 122, the 40th anniversary of the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans. So I don't think I got this issue. I'm going to pick that up. I missed that one.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's offered again, so clearly they were thinking of you.
Oh. Was there anything above that, or was it the beginning of the Tomorrow section?
That is the beginning of the collect, and then Alter Ego 171.
Yep.
That's
so looking at the Golden Age artist Paul Gustafsson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Angel, the Arrow, the Human Bomb. Oh, these are all quality characters, Murd. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yep.
That again, Alter Ego. You want to go dive deep into like Golden Age, Silver Age creators of histories. It's the magazine. I mean,
oh yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep, absolutely. And to spotlight people that would not otherwise get the spotlight that people may have gotten. That's the way to go. Yep.
And if you've ever seen, I have most of the American Comic Book Chronicles hardcovers, which are in-depth examinations of different eras from the history of the American comic book. They're wonderful histories, and they put them in context what's going on in the culture around them. They're so good. And I noticed the Modern Masters there. If you go back a little bit, please.
Yep.
On Paulo Rivera.
Ooh, yes.
So I don't know if Tomorrow still does these books. Actually, no, there was another back issue. I'm sorry.
There was
130.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Murd. Bronze Age promos, ads, and gimmicks. Who wants their hostess pie? Okay.
And the mystery writer of those zany hostess comic ads was E. Nelson Bridwell.
I love it.
Oh, this is an issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shane's
I wasn't
going
to let you guys pass this one by.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. The only thing that stopped me was the strange layout of this page, because I saw Tohan and
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
No, this has. We're all going to get this one.
Oh yeah.
that's by Brian Boland. Look at that.
Yeah, that's an awesome. What a great concept for the issue.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yep.
And then I'm sorry, go back to that Modern Masters there.
That's on page 367 down there.
367. There we are. Voila.
The young lady in her bathing suit there. Yes.
Yep. I think this is a reissue. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Never read the Modern Masters series, so Tomorrow's did a wonderful in-depth series where each volume addresses a particular creator. They're Modern Masters, so when they did the books, they were still living. They would interview them extensively, all kinds of artwork. They're tremendous. So you can go. I'm sure you can go to the Tomorrow site there. I'm sure they still have a lot of them. But I mean, pretty much any like well-known comic book creator of the past, have a couple decades, 20, 30 years, 40 years, they have a book. Like Darwin Cook, John Byrne, Mike Plug. There's a whole. They're wonderful. I can't recommend them enough. And well, here, let me. Here's my.
That's how much he recommends them.
Here's my Paulo Rivera Dr. Doom head sketch I got.
Doom.
Look at that.
Very nice.
New York. Was it New York Comic Con 2000?
Yep. And at that same convention, it might not have been the same year, but it was the same show. I got a Paolo Bizarro.
Nice. Me am upset about that.
You was not happy either.
Yep. All right. And I think I can probably head straight over to manga at this point, because although I love Vault, I don't think that there's really anything of note this month. A lot of stuff is mid mid collection and what have you. So
now there is one new thing. If we want to mention Cullen Bunn yet one more time in this episode, it's on pages 374 and 375. It's called The Last Book You'll Ever Read.
So I'm super glad that we did mention it, just for that read.
Yep, it's written by Cullen Bunn, art by Leila Leiz, whom we mentioned earlier in this catalog also. And it's about an author named Olivia Cade, who sees herself as the prophet of a coming collapse of civilization. And she has written a book that apparently has got a mind of its own and is going to be it's a vessel for the coming apocalypse. And she believes that her own life is in danger from those who have read her work, and she hires a personal security guard to act as her bodyguard with the proviso that he promised never to read her book. So, of course, he's going to end up reading that book.
Oh, of course. I like the concept.
Yeah. This could have also been called, don't press this button no matter what, like.
The jolly candy-like button.
Oh man, good times.
Tremendous.
And yeah, Cullen Bunn is all over these previews. Like he is writing so much right now. All right, and on that note, I'm gonna head over to
the manga report.
Manga
by Levinstein.
Here we are. 5 minutes of manga. Where are you, Charlito? Where are you? All right. Starting off on page 390. Yes, indeed. The popular Shakespeare play, now in modern English language. I mean, I'm not sure if we were exactly like waiting for that, but this is Manga Classics Macbeth, author William Shakespeare. What a slouch. Adaptation by Crystal S. Chan and art by Julian Choi. And yes, a manga retelling of William Shakespeare's Macbeth. Pretty cool.
I'm more excited by the forthcoming film directed by one of the Coen brothers, starring Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand in Macbeth.
What?
So, yep.
Oh my God! They've given Frances McDormand enough Academy Awards. I mean, come on.
She doesn't have any more room in her house.
Exactly. She's got to open up an extension just for all the Academy Awards. Oh, hey, look, Mob Psycho. All right, moving on.
Psycho.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, why not?
What manga are you reading right now, Ian? Regularly?
I'm behind on literally everything.
Okay.
But I'm still reading I Am a Hero. The New York Public Library is 2 volumes away from being done collecting it, even though it's all out now. And I think because of the pandemic, they haven't ordered it. So I'm gonna have to keep like poking them with a stick until they actually do so. Because come on, there's 2 more volumes. I gotta finish this thing, and I don't want to pay money for it. But we'll see about that. Everything else, though, like I mean, I'm always on the cusp of starting new things. It's just actually getting there. Number 5 does look very interesting, though, on page 397. In a world where most of the Earth has become a harsh desert, the Rainbow Council of the Peace Corps has a growing crisis on its hands. Number 5, one member of a team of superpowered global security guardians and a top marksman has gone rogue. Now the other guardians have to hunt down number 5 and his mysterious companion, Matryoshka. But why did number 5 turn against the council, and what will it mean for the future of the world? It's a powerfully imagined vision from the future from Taiyo Matsumoto, creator of the Eisner Award-winning Cats of the Louvre, and Tekon Kincrete.
That does sound interesting.
Ian, I want to point out you've made a valiant effort pronouncing a lot of challenging names this episode.
Oh, I know. I'm sure I did not pronounce half of them correctly, but at least I tried.
You did it with panache, my friend.
Exactly.
Good thing nobody can find that jar with the quarters in it.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I'm sure that if we did, it would be very, very heavy.
We could probably pay our rent just with that.
I know. I don't think they have Coinstar machines anymore, so you'd have to probably go to the bank for that.
No, they have Coinstar machines.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, like when you transfer them and you get cash back?
Yeah.
In where I live, the Acme supermarkets have them.
Nice.
Yes, okay. Exactly. There's the one in Cape May Courthouse near Stone Harbor has one too.
Yeah, got it. They got rid of a lot of the ones around here, so I wasn't quite sure if it was still a thing. All right, now I'm going to try to find one more, and then I will call it a day. All right, I got it. Page 409. if the RPG world had social media, Volume 1, with a name like that, when a fantasy world has fully functioning internet and smartphones, for some reason, it's only natural for its 16-year-old hero to declare war on the Demon Lord via text message. But is it natural for the Demon Lord to be an innocent snowflake who hates conflict? Take a peek into this unfortunate hero's chat log with a unique group of RPG characters, like an overly pure Demon Lord, her cheerful demon generals, who all adore her, and the kidnapped princess, who seems to be developing a major crush on her captor.
Oh, Stockholm Syndrome.
Indeed. 409, if the RPG world had social media, writer Yusuke Nita, and what a concept. And on that note, I believe shot Bolt.
Bolt has been shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a couple of other tchotchkes to mention.
Oh, tchotchkes.
Yeah, just in passing here. On page 399, there's a cookbook full of Disney-themed recipes for bento boxes.
Well done, Murd.
Oh, yes, you're right. Oh, my God. Disney bento. I love it.
Too weird not to mention.
Yep.
Written by Masami Miyazaki. And I actually do have one thing from the back of the book that I thought was kind of cool and worth a mention, since I so rarely venture into that territory. On page 84, it's a collection of Beatles Yellow Submarine mini plastic figurines from Titan Merchandise. Looks like a dozen different styles, approximately 3 inches tall. It's the Beatles. It's their legendary forebears from the original Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And it's also a couple of Blue Meanies, Captain Fred, and the Yellow Submarine itself.
Nice.
They all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine.
Yes, they do.
And you just passed the David Hasselhoff Chia Pet, by the way.
Oh yeah, which we all need to get like 3 of, but you know, that's all right, hold on. I really want to just get to that page.
Yeah, you're making a valiant effort, my friend.
Said it was 80. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Wow, those are cool.
Those are nice.
Excellent.
I haven't seen this movie in so many years. Wow.
Whew. Let's all breathe a minute here and just take in the fact that we got through that. Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
You were the trailblazer, my friend. We were just along for the ride.
Yep. And thank you, Chris, for popping in. We appreciate it.
You bet. I'm sorry I was late.
Lift a glass in remembrance to brothers present and those who have fallen along the way.
Hear, hear.
Here. Yep. All righty. Well, once again, a reminder to everybody out there that you are indeed our sponsors over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. So thank you all so much for the support. I'm also over at patreon.com/comictiming if you want to give to the production of the show, as well as what other tchotchkes I feel like throwing out there into the world when I get a chance. And of course, if you want to watch us go through previews, please make sure to do so over at youtube.com/comicgeekspeak. We did get a decent amount of comments on our last episode, and it's another place for you to go back and forth with us and communicate if you can, and leave comments on the videos and what have you, and we really do appreciate it. So yeah, youtube.com/comicgeekspeak. All right, and now the role of Shane will be played by Murd.
If you'd like to send us an email, the address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. You can also leave a voicemail by calling 267-702-6642. You can like us on Facebook. You can also partake in discussions of our episodes and other related topics at our Comic Geek Speak supergroup on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @ComicGeekSpeak. You can go to our original online forum at thecomicforums.vanillacommunity.com. Leave feedback about this episode and also maybe talk to some of your fellow listeners on a variety of geeky topics there. And Ian mentioned you can go to youtube.com/comicgeekspeak to see what we're doing while we record these episodes. That can be kind of rewarding. You can see the giant wooden lizard that I've been palling around with this episode. We give special thanks, as always, to those of you who have donated monetarily to the show, either in the distant past or the recent past. We really appreciate it, and the show would not be what it is today without your support. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.
decided to end early. One of the only prop I had was potato chips. So like, all right, fine. I'll go ahead and go with the potato
I'm
chips.
glad we're all now inspired to make fools of ourselves on camera with different props. Magnificent.